Have you ever found yourself lying awake, your mind racing, replaying something that happened, or imagining all the things that could go wrong tomorrow? Why does our mind do that? Why do we spend so much energy on worry, even when there's nothing we can do in that moment? Here's the thing, this isn't a new problem. People have worried like this for thousands of years. Ancient thinkers, like the Stoics in places like Greece and Rome, understood a lot about this feeling. They didn't have cell phones or social media, but they knew what it was like to feel that knot in your stomach. They taught that much of our suffering, much of our worry, comes from trying to control things we simply cannot control. Think about it. You can study for a big test, but you can't control what specific questions the teacher asks. You can practice a speech, but you can't control if someone in the audience coughs or if you momentarily forget a word. So here's what happens. Your mind, in an effort to protect you, leaps into the future. It creates countless what-if scenarios. It builds imaginary problems, often much bigger and scarier than anything that actually happens. It's like a movie projector running inside your head, showing all the worst possible endings, even though those endings are just stories your mind is telling itself. This constant mental rehearsal of fear is what we call worry. It's your mind trying to solve problems that don't exist yet, or problems that aren't even real. The old idea is that true peace isn't found in controlling the world around you, but in understanding what is actually in your power. You can choose how you react. You can choose what you focus on. When we learn to gently pull our minds back from those what-if movies and simply be present, we can often find a quiet strength. It's a powerful ancient wisdom. Much of our worry lives only in our thoughts, not in reality. Have you ever said something in a hurry or clicked send on a message and then immediately wish you could take it back? That feeling, that moment of regret, teaches us something deep about ourselves. Here's the thing. Ancient thinkers across the world knew about this feeling, and they spoke about the quiet power of simply pausing. This idea, thinking before you act, is about creating a tiny space in your mind. It's like hitting a pause button between what happens to you and how you choose to respond. Instead of just reacting to emotions like anger or excitement, you give yourself a moment to breathe, to consider, what might happen if I say this? How will this action affect me or others later on? It's not about being slow, but about being wise. Long ago, thinkers like the Stoics in ancient Greece and Rome, or wise teachers in ancient China, talked a lot about self-control. They believed true strength wasn't about physical power, but about mastering your own mind and feelings. They taught that we can't always control what happens to us, but we can always control how we respond. This simple pause, this quiet moment of thought, was their secret weapon for living a good life. It was about choosing virtue over impulse. Think of it like this. Imagine you're trying to solve a tricky puzzle. Your first urge might be to just try to jam pieces together. But if you stop, look at the shapes, plan your next move, you're much more likely to succeed. In daily life, maybe someone says something that annoys you. Your first feeling might be anger. But if you take a breath, remember that pause, you might choose to respond with understanding or even silence instead of a harsh word. This can help you avoid problems and feel better about yourself. This quiet power, the ability to think, truly think, before you act helps you shape your own path. It's how you build a life that feels more intentional, more peaceful, and more truly your own. It's about becoming the director of your own story, not just an actor reading lines. Do you ever scroll through your phone and see pictures of what looks like a totally perfect life? You might wonder, why isn't my life like that? Am I doing something wrong? This feeling comes from the myth of the perfect life. It's the idea that a flawless life, without problems or sadness, is possible. It makes us believe we can reach a problem-free state if we try hard enough. But here's the thing, that perfect life doesn't actually exist. It's a story we sometimes tell ourselves. Thinkers have wrestled with this idea for thousands of years. The ancient Stoics knew life was tough. They believed true strength was accepting what you couldn't control, focusing on your actions and attitude. They didn't aim for a perfect world, but to live well within the messy, real one. Many older ideas, across cultures, teach that life naturally includes both joy and sorrow, like changing seasons. It's like a science experiment showing only the successful result, not all the failed tries. When you see a highlight reel online, you're missing the hard work and mistakes behind that shining picture. you don't see the full story. So, here's what matters. Real life is messy. It has ups and downs, and that's okay. In fact, that's what makes life interesting and truly beautiful. Finding peace isn't about chasing a flawless dream. It's about finding joy and meaning in the real, imperfect moments of your unique journey. Your life doesn't need to be perfect to be wonderful. Have you ever stopped to think about why kindness, even tiny bits of it, feels so important? It's more than just being polite. It's about choosing to be gentle, understanding, and caring towards others and even yourself. It means looking for ways to make someone else's day a little better, or just listening when they need to talk. This idea isn't new at all. Thinkers from long ago, people like Confucius in ancient China or Aristotle in old Greece, talked a lot about virtues. They saw kindness, or benevolence as they sometimes called it, as a core part of being a good person and building a strong society. They understood that a world without compassion would be a very lonely and harsh place. It was a truth they knew deeply. How we treat each other shapes everything. Here's the thing. Being kind doesn't just help the other person, it helps you too. When you do something kind, even something small like holding a door open or sharing a snack, your brain actually releases chemicals that make you feel good. It's like a warm, soft glow inside you. This is why helping others often makes us feel happier than just helping ourselves. It's almost as if our bodies are designed to reward us for connecting with others in a positive way. Imagine you see a classmate struggling to carry a pile of books. You step in and help them. That small act not only eases their burden but also creates a tiny ripple of goodwill. Maybe they'll feel a little lighter, a little more seen. And maybe, just maybe, they'll pay that kindness forward to someone else. Kindness isn't weak. It's a quiet, powerful force. It builds bridges between people. It softens the hard edges of life. And that's why it still truly matters every single day. Have you ever stopped to think about what truly makes you happy? Often, we look for big moments, a special trip, a major win, a new phone. But what if joy isn't always about grand things? What if it's hiding in plain sight, in the everyday moments we often miss? Here's the thing. Finding joy in small things means learning to notice and appreciate life's simple, quiet pleasures. It's not about being excited all the time. It's about finding a calm, steady sense of happiness in ordinary stuff. Like the warmth of a sunny spot, the way a pet purrs, or the perfect bite of your favorite snack. It's about shifting our focus, just a little. This idea isn't new. Ancient thinkers, thousands of years ago, understood this deeply. Some Greek philosophers, like the Stoics, believed true contentment didn't come from lots of money or fame. Instead, they taught that peace came from appreciating what you had right now. They focused on finding quiet happiness in daily life, not chasing things always out of reach. They looked for the small gifts in each day. Think about this. Maybe it's the quiet calm you feel when drawing in your notebook, or the satisfaction of finally understanding a tough math problem. It could be the sound of rain outside your window while you're cozy indoors, or the unexpected smile from a friend in the hallway. Like a scientist looking closely at something tiny under a microscope and seeing a whole beautiful world. Those small things, when you truly notice them, can fill you with a peaceful feeling. And that's why it matters. When we train ourselves to see these small joys, our whole outlook changes. We feel more grateful, less stressed, and more connected to the world. It's a quiet superpower, turning the ordinary into something special, one small moment at a time. It's a gentle reminder. Happiness isn't always a destination. Sometimes it's just the path you're walking, if you choose to see it. Have you ever truly wondered if you are completely free? Most of us feel like we make our own choices daily. We pick what to wear, what to eat, who to talk to. But is that all freedom is? What if ancient ways of thinking, old ideas passed down through time, are still guiding your steps without you even knowing it? Freedom, in a deeper sense, isn't just about doing whatever you want. It's about being free inside your own head. It's about not being controlled by thoughts or feelings that just appear, or by ideas that aren't really yours. Thinkers from long ago, like the Stoics in ancient Greece, really focused on this. They believed true freedom came from mastering your own mind, not from having lots of money or power. They said what truly traps us are our own thoughts and how we react. Here's an example. Imagine a friend says something that bugs you. Your first feeling might be anger. Is that anger a free choice? Or is it a reaction taught by old ideas about how you should feel when disrespected? The Stoics would say it's how you think about what they said that makes you angry, not the words themselves. They taught that real freedom means seeing these influences and choosing a different path. So, the journey to real freedom begins with looking closely at yourself. It's about noticing those old echoes, those deep-seated ideas that shape how you feel and act. This can help you. Becoming aware lets you slowly choose how to respond to the world, instead of just letting unseen influences guide you. It's a quiet, powerful freedom, found right inside your own mind. Have you ever felt that hot, sudden rush? That tight knot in your stomach when something just isn't fair or doesn't go your way? That feeling is anger, and it's a natural part of being human. But here's the thing. While we can't always stop ourselves from feeling angry, we can choose what we do with that feeling. And that choice makes all the difference. Ancient thinkers, like the Stoics, who lived in places like Greece and Rome thousands of years ago, spent a lot of time thinking about emotions like anger. They believed that true strength wasn't about never feeling anger, but about not letting anger control you. A philosopher named Seneca, for example, wrote long ago about how anger often hurts the person feeling it more than anyone else. He saw anger as a wildfire, easy to start, but hard to put out, and it burns everything in its path, especially our own peace of mind. These wise people understood that while we can't control what happens to us, we always have power over how we react. Think of it like this. Imagine you're playing a video game, and suddenly your internet connection drops. You might feel that surge of frustration, maybe want to yell or throw your controller. That's the raw feeling of anger. But what happens if you let that anger take over? You might break something or say words you later regret. The wise way is like pausing, taking a deep breath. You can notice the feeling without letting it push your buttons. Maybe you check the router or simply decide to do something else until the internet is back. It's the difference between reacting like a firework, exploding, and choosing to respond with calm thought like a still lake reflecting the sky. Learning to pause, to look at anger not as a master but as a message, is a powerful skill. It tells us something matters to us, but how we answer that message determines our path. When we choose a thoughtful response over a fiery reaction, we find a quieter, steadier strength within ourselves. This helps us navigate the loud world with more peace, even when things are tough. Have you ever wondered why bad things happen? Why does it feel like the world is sometimes just unfair? Maybe you missed a shot in a game, or you didn't do as well on a test as you hoped. Those moments can feel really crummy, and it's okay to feel that way. But what if there was another way to look at those tough times? For thousands of years, certain thinkers have explored this very question. Imagine ancient philosophers sitting and pondering life's ups and downs. One group, called the Stoics, from ancient Greece and Rome, had a powerful idea. They didn't say bad things wouldn't happen. They knew life throws curveballs. But here's the thing they taught. We can't always control what happens to us. We can't stop a rainy day or change a test grade once it's given. But we can control how we react to those things. Think of it like this. Imagine you're building something really cool, maybe a model airplane, and then, oops, a piece breaks. You could get super upset, throw it down, and give up. Or you could take a breath. You could try to fix it, or find a different way to put it together. That broken piece, that bad thing, can actually make you more creative or more determined. It teaches you something new about building or about yourself. These old philosophers believe that difficulties aren't just problems, they're chances. They are like exercises for your mind and spirit. Every time something tough happens, and you choose to respond with calm, or with thought, or by trying again, you're making your inner self stronger. It's not about being happy when things are hard. It's about finding a quiet strength inside you that says, I can handle this. I can learn from this. And that's a kind of power that truly lasts. Have you ever wondered if giving something away could make you feel like you have more? It seems strange, since we usually think having more stuff makes us rich. But here's the thing. Ancient wisdom from around the world, from philosophers in Greece to ancient tribal leaders, always pointed to a different kind of wealth. They understood true richness isn't just what you own, but what you share. This idea means when you share your time, kindness, knowledge, or even laughter, you don't lose any of it. Instead, something amazing happens. It's like lighting one candle from another. The first candle doesn't lose its flame. It just spreads its light. Sharing creates more good and builds connections between people. Think about it. Imagine you know a lot about a video game and your friend is just starting and struggling. If you teach them some tricks, show them how to get past a tricky level, or share your best strategies, what happens? You don't lose your own gaming skills. In fact, explaining it might help you understand the game better yourself. Your friend gets better and feels closer because you help them. You both end up richer, but not with money. You get richer in friendship, shared fun, and understanding. This isn't just a nice thought. It's how human communities have always grown strong. When people share food, skills, or stories, they create a stronger group where everyone feels valued and safe. Sharing builds trust. It makes us feel connected, like we belong. That feeling of belonging, of being part of something bigger you help build, is a kind of wealth no money can buy. It fills you up inside, giving you a deep sense of peace and happiness. And that truly makes you richer. Have you ever really noticed how much noise fills our lives? It's not just the sounds from outside, like cars or music or people talking. It's also the constant buzz inside our heads, thoughts, worries, plans, and all the information we take in from screens. Sometimes it feels like there's no quiet place left, anywhere. But here's the thing. True quiet isn't just about silence in the world around you. It's about finding a quiet space within your own mind. It's about letting your thoughts settle down, like dust in a sunny room when the air stops moving. For thousands of years, wise people knew how important this was. Ancient Greek philosophers, like the Stoics, talked a lot about finding inner calm no matter what was happening outside. And in many traditions from the East, like Buddhism, they taught practices that help you quiet your mind on purpose. They believed this inner stillness was the key to understanding yourself and the world more clearly. They weren't just guessing, they saw it work for people. Think of your mind like a pond. If the wind is always blowing, or if people are constantly throwing stones in, the water is choppy and muddy. You can't see the bottom, you can't see what's truly there, but when the wind stops and no one disturbs the water, it slowly becomes still and clear. Then you can see all the way down to the pebbles, the fish, even the smallest details at the bottom. Your mind works like that. When it's constantly busy and distracted, it's hard to see your true feelings, your real thoughts, or what you genuinely need. So, taking moments to be quiet, just to breathe and think, can be one of the most powerful things you do. It's not about being bored or doing nothing. It's about creating that stillness within yourself. This quiet helps you hear your own voice, the one that often gets lost in all the noise. It helps you understand your emotions, and it can even help you make better choices because you're listening to a deeper part of yourself. It truly connects you to a wisdom that's always been waiting inside. Have you ever wondered if the world you see, hear, and touch is truly exactly as it appears? This isn't about magic tricks or special effects. It's about how our brains actually work. Our senses, eyes, ears, skin collect tiny bits of information from the world around us. But then, our brain takes all that data and builds a picture of reality for us. It fills in gaps, makes guesses, and sometimes it can even surprise us. For thousands of years, people have thought about this. Ancient thinkers like the Greek philosopher Plato explored it deeply. He told a famous story called the allegory of the cave. Imagine people who have lived their whole lives chained inside a cave, only able to see shadows dancing on a wall in front of them. To them, those shadows are reality. But outside, there's a whole different world. The true source of those shadows, bright and vibrant. Plato suggested that maybe we're a bit like those cave dwellers, seeing only reflections or parts of a much bigger, truer reality. Think about optical illusions. Those tricky drawings where you see one thing, then look again, and it's something completely different. Your brain is trying to make sense of the lines, but it can interpret them in more than one way. Or imagine you're dreaming. While you're dreaming, everything feels real, right? The people, the places, the feelings. But then you wake up and you realize it was all just in your mind. This shows us how powerful our own brain is in creating our experience of what's real. So, is what you see really there? Maybe not exactly in the way you first think. This idea isn't meant to make you doubt everything around you. Instead, it's an invitation to be curious. It asks you to look deeper, to understand that everyone's view of the world is a little bit different, shaped by their own unique brain and experiences. It teaches us to question, to explore, and to realize that reality is often much richer and more complex than what first meets the eye. Have you ever stopped to think about the true strength of a single word? It's more than just a sound leaving your mouth, isn't it? A word can feel like a whisper that comforts someone, or a shout that cuts deep. It can build bridges between people, or it can burn them down. This idea that our words carry real power isn't new at all. It's a very old truth, something people have understood for thousands of years. Think about ancient times. Many old cultures, like the Egyptians, believed that the world itself was spoken into existence. They thought gods created things just by saying them out loud. It was like their words had the power to make something real out of nothing. The Greeks also had a concept called logos. It meant word, but also reason, and the very order of the universe. So, people long ago saw words as more than just ways to talk. They saw them as a powerful force. Here's the thing. This ancient wisdom still matters today. Imagine you tell a friend, that drawing you made is really amazing. Your simple words can make them feel proud and want to create more. But if you said, that drawing is terrible, those same simple words could make them feel sad and stop trying. Our own thoughts work the same way. If you keep telling yourself, I'm not good enough, those silent words can hold you back. But if you tell yourself, I can try my best, that changes everything. So every time you speak, remember you're using a powerful tool. Your words are like seeds. You can plant seeds of kindness, encouragement, and hope. Or you can plant seeds of doubt, anger, and hurt. What you choose to say shapes not only the world around you, but also the world within you. And that's why understanding the power of your words is such an important ancient truth. It guides us to use them wisely. Have you ever felt like you always need more? Like you get something new you really wanted, but soon enough, you start thinking about the next thing? Maybe it's a new video game, or cooler clothes, or even more followers online. It's a feeling of never quite being satisfied, always reaching for the next big thing. But what if enough isn't about having everything you can possibly get? What if it's about a quiet, peaceful feeling inside you? Enough means understanding that true happiness isn't always tied to getting more stuff or having more experiences. It's a feeling of being okay right now with what you already have. It's a kind of calm knowing that what's here in this moment is good enough. This idea isn't new at all. Ancient thinkers like some of the Stoic philosophers from old Greece and Rome talked about it thousands of years ago. They weren't focused on getting rich or owning a lot of things. Instead, they believed that real, lasting happiness came from wanting less, not more. They found that chasing endless desires made people restless and unhappy. They taught that if you always crave new things, you'll always feel like something is missing. But if you learn to be content with what you have, you find true freedom and peace. Think about getting more screen time or wanting the newest phone. You get it, and for a bit, it's exciting. But then, pretty soon, you might start comparing it to someone else's, or thinking about the next model coming out. That feeling, that's the endless chase. Or, imagine you save up for cool new sneakers. You wear them, you like them, but then you see another pair, and the feeling of enough just slips away. It's easy to get caught in this cycle of always wanting more and never quite feeling truly settled or complete. Learning to be okay with enough means taking a deep breath. It means noticing and appreciating the good things already around you, like a comfy bed, your favorite song, or just spending time with friends. It's about finding joy in these simple, everyday things. When you do that, you discover a quiet kind of happiness that doesn't depend on what you buy or how many likes you get. It's about feeling full and content from the inside out, bringing more peace and less worry into your life. Have you ever stopped to think about how everything around us is always shifting? From the moment you wake up until the evening, things are never quite the same. The sky changes color, your thoughts drift. Even your body is constantly growing, changing, becoming something new. But why is that? Why isn't anything truly still? Here's the thing. Change isn't just something that happens to us. It's a deep part of how life and the whole universe work. Imagine it like a river. A famous Greek philosopher named Heraclitus lived over 2,000 years ago. He had a really powerful idea about this. He said you can never step into the same river twice. Think about it. The water is always flowing, always moving on. The riverbed might shift, new stones might appear, even the tiny fish are swimming to new spots. So, the river you stepped into a second ago is already different from the one you're in now. This idea means that everything is always in motion, always becoming. Our cells are replacing themselves. Seasons turn from bright summer to cool autumn, then cold winter, and back to fresh spring. A tiny seed becomes a huge tree. And you, right now, are not the exact same person you were 5 minutes ago. You've learned something new, or felt a new feeling, or just breathed another breath. So, why does this matter? It means that life isn't about being perfectly still or trying to hold on to one moment forever. It's about movement. It's about growing. It's about letting go and embracing what's next. This constant dance of change is what makes life so rich and interesting. It reminds us that every single moment is unique, never to be repeated, and always offering something new to discover. And that's a beautiful thought, isn't it? Have you ever wondered why some people keep trying, even when everything feels like it's falling apart? Why do they push through the really tough stuff instead of just quitting? It's not always about having endless strength or being super brave. Here's the thing. Often, the secret to not giving up lies in how we understand failure itself. It's about seeing that a setback isn't the end, but maybe just a bend in the road. It's a moment for learning. Ancient thinkers, like the Stoics in Greece and Rome thousands of years ago, talked a lot about this. They believed that while you can't control everything that happens to you, like a test score you didn't expect, or a friend moving away, you can control how you react. They said your inner peace comes from accepting what you can't change and focusing your energy only on what you can, your effort, your attitude, and your choices. So, when you're learning to play a musical instrument and your fingers just won't make the right chords, it can feel really frustrating. You might want to just stop, but if you see each mistake not as a sign you're bad at it, but as information, oh, my pinky needs to go here instead, then you're using that ancient wisdom, you're learning. Every wrong note or clumsy strum isn't a failure. It's a step closer to getting it right. It shows you what to adjust next. This way of thinking helps you keep going because it changes how you see the challenge. Instead of a giant wall, it becomes a series of smaller steps. You don't need to be loud or dramatic. You just keep taking those small steps, quietly, steadily. It's about remembering that the path itself, with all its bumps, is where you actually grow stronger and wiser, and that's why it matters so much. Have you ever thought about the most important friendship you'll ever have? It's not with a classmate or a family member, even though those relationships are super important. The truth is, the most constant, always there friend you'll ever have is actually yourself. So, what does it truly mean to be your own best friend? It simply means treating yourself with the same kindness, understanding, and encouragement you'd offer to someone you truly care about. It means listening to your own thoughts without judgment, accepting your feelings, and being your own quiet cheerleader. Think of it this way. If your best friend made a mistake, would you yell at them and tell them they're terrible? No way. You'd probably say, "It's okay, we all mess up sometimes. You'll do better next time." Being your own best friend means saying those same gentle words to yourself. This idea isn't new at all. For thousands of years, philosophers, like the ancient Greeks, talked a lot about knowing yourself. They knew that true wisdom started from deep inside. They believed that understanding your own mind and heart was the key to a good life. It wasn't about being selfish. It was about building a strong, steady inner world. They understood that if you couldn't be kind and honest with yourself, it would be hard to be truly kind and honest with others. Here's what I found. People have always looked inward for strength. Imagine you're trying to learn a complicated new dance move or solve a really tough puzzle in class. You might get frustrated or feel like giving up. Instead of getting angry at yourself, your inner best friend would gently remind you, "This is hard, but you're learning. Keep trying. You've got this." This isn't about ignoring problems. It's about facing them with a supportive attitude. This can help you keep going. So, here's the thing. Cultivating this friendship with yourself builds a quiet strength deep inside you. It's like creating a safe, peaceful space within your own mind, a place where you always feel supported and understood. This inner peace helps you feel steady and true, no matter what challenges come your way. It's a promise to yourself that you'll always be in your own corner, cheering you on. Have you ever wondered what makes a life truly good? Not just fun or easy, but good deep down? Today, a good life might seem to mean having lots of money or cool gadgets. But what if the wisest people from thousands of years ago had a totally different idea? Ancient philosophers, especially those in Greece, thought deeply about this. They weren't focused on getting rich or famous. Instead, they wanted to understand how to live a life that felt meaningful and peaceful, no matter what happened around them. This wasn't about big houses or fancy clothes. It was about something inside you. They called this idea eudaimonia, which simply means human flourishing or living well. Think of a healthy plant that grows strong and produces fruit. They believed humans flourished by developing good character, making smart choices, and finding inner calm. Philosophers like Aristotle believed true happiness came from practicing virtues, things like courage, honesty, and kindness. It was about being a good person, consistently. They thought that acting with wisdom and fairness created a good life, no matter your circumstances. Here's the thing. This old idea isn't about ignoring problems. It's about how you respond to challenges. Imagine tackling a tough math problem. Instead of giving up, the ancient idea encourages patience, perseverance, and learning. That effort, that grit, builds character. It helps you flourish. So, even after thousands of years, these ancient thoughts still matter. They gently remind us that a truly good life isn't something you buy or find outside. It's something you build day by day by deciding how you will be and how you will act. It's a quiet strength that comes from within. Have you ever stopped to wonder if something you believe, something everyone around you believes, might not actually be true? It's a quiet thought, but a powerful one. We grow up learning so many things, facts from books, ideas from our parents, beliefs from our friends. Most of the time, we just accept them. But here's the thing. Real understanding doesn't come from just taking in information. It comes from asking questions. Questioning everything isn't about being negative or rebellious. It's about being truly curious, like a detective piecing together a mystery. It means not just accepting something because it's always been said or because many people agree. It means looking closer, asking why, and how do you know that? This way of thinking isn't new. Ancient Greek thinkers, like a wise man named Socrates, spent their lives doing this. They didn't have all the answers, but they knew wisdom began with challenging what was known, pushing past surface ideas. They showed us that a life without examining beliefs, without truly thinking, might not be as rich as it could be. Think about how people once believed the earth was flat, or that the sun went around the earth. It seemed obvious, right? You see the sun move across the sky. But brave thinkers, by questioning that obvious truth and looking differently, eventually discovered the earth is round and that we go around the sun. This didn't happen because they just believed what they were told. It happened because they dared to ask, what if it's different? What if we're wrong? So why question everything? Because it opens your mind. It helps you see the world not just as old ideas, but as something to explore. It allows you to build your own understanding, piece by piece, based on what you truly learn and discover. It's how we grow, finding our own path, guided by our own thoughts, not just by what others tell us. Have you ever worried about something you just couldn't change? Maybe it was the weather ruining a fun outdoor plan, or what someone else thought about your new haircut. It's a common feeling, that little knot of worry about things outside our power. But here's the thing. Understanding what we can't control is actually a huge step towards feeling calmer and more in charge of our own lives. This idea isn't new. Thousands of years ago, ancient thinkers, especially a group called the Stoics, talked a lot about this. Imagine wise people in ancient Greece and Rome, like Seneca or Epictetus, sitting around and realizing something big. They figured out that so many of our troubles come from trying to change things that are simply not ours to change. They taught that there are things within our control, like our own thoughts, our choices, and how we react to things. And then there are things outside our control, like what other people say or do, the weather, or even how long we live. Think about it like this. You can control how much you study for a test, but you can't control the exact questions on the test, or how your friend does. You can choose to be kind to someone, but you can't force them to be kind back. When we spend all our energy worrying about the rain on picture day, or trying to make everyone like us, we end up feeling frustrated and helpless. And that's why it matters. By letting go of what's outside our circle of influence, we free up our energy. We can then put that energy into the things we can control, like our effort, our attitude, and how we choose to respond to life's surprises. It's about focusing our power where it actually makes a difference, finding a quiet peace in knowing the difference between what we can steer and what we simply need to accept. Have you ever felt like there's just too much to keep up with? Too many things to buy, too many places to go, too many ideas shoved into your brain? Sometimes it feels like we're always reaching for more, trying to fill a space that never quite gets full. But what if real peace, real joy came from having less, not more? This is the heart of simple living. It's not about being poor or getting rid of everything you own. Not at all. It's about making a choice. It's about letting go of what doesn't truly matter, so you can make room for what does. Think of it like this. Your mind and your life are a bit like your phone. If you download hundreds of apps you don't really use, your phone gets slow and clunky. It can't run the important things well. But if you only keep the apps you truly need and love, your phone runs fast and smooth. This idea isn't new. For thousands of years, wise people in different cultures have talked about it. Ancient philosophers, like the Stoics in Greece and Rome, often taught that true happiness wasn't found in having a lot of stuff or chasing endless desires. Instead, they believed it came from needing little, from focusing on inner peace and what was truly important, like kindness, wisdom, and courage. They saw how wanting more and more could actually make people anxious and unhappy. When you choose a simpler path, you're not missing out. Instead, you're gaining something huge: quietness in your mind, more time for the people you care about, and the freedom to enjoy simple moments, like watching the clouds or reading a good book. It's a quiet strength, a way to live with purpose, finding beauty and richness in the everyday, in the things that don't cost a dime but fill your heart. Think about it for a moment. What does true happiness really mean to you? Is it that amazing feeling when you open a gift you've wanted forever? Or the excitement of a Friday night, knowing the whole weekend stretches ahead? Those moments are great, sure, but then they pass, right? So what about a happiness that doesn't fade? A kind of deep, quiet peace that stays with you, even when things aren't perfect? That's the feeling we're talking about here. For thousands of years, smart people all over the world have asked this very question. Back in ancient Greece, thinkers like Aristotle spent their lives trying to figure it out. They had a word for it: eudaimonia. It's a bit of a mouthful, but it means something like human flourishing or living well. And here's the thing. They didn't think eudaimonia was just about feeling good all the time. They believed it was about living a life of purpose, using your unique strengths, and being a good, virtuous person. It wasn't something you got from outside, like a toy or a new video game. Instead, it was something you built from the inside, by how you chose to live your days. Think of it like a really strong, old oak tree. It doesn't just pop up overnight. It grows deep roots, stands firm through storms, and keeps reaching for the sun. That's a bit like what they meant by true happiness: a strong inner life built on good choices. This can help you see it differently. Imagine you've spent weeks working on a school project, putting in effort, learning new things, maybe even helping classmates. When you finally turn it in and it gets a good grade, or even better, you feel proud of the work itself, that's a deeper kind of happiness than just getting something handed to you. That feeling of real accomplishment, that sense of having used your abilities well, that's much closer to the true happiness philosophers talked about. It's not about endless fun, it's about a meaningful way of being. So here's what I found. Maybe true happiness isn't just a fleeting emotion, but a way of life. A quiet understanding that you are living well, doing good, and growing into the best version of yourself one day at a time. Have you ever looked back at something you did or something that happened and wished you could just rewind time and change it? That heavy feeling, that ache of if only that's regret. But what if you could learn to live without that weight? Living with no regrets isn't about being perfect or never making a mistake. It's about how you choose to see your past and what you do with it. Here's the thing. Ancient thinkers, like the Stoics from long ago, knew a lot about this. They believed that while you can't control what happened yesterday, or even what others do, you can control how you react to it. They focused on what was in their power right now. So for them, a regret wasn't just a bad memory. It was a chance to learn and do better next time without dwelling on the past. It's like when you're building something, maybe a Lego castle. If a tower falls, you don't cry over the fallen bricks forever. You figure out why it fell, maybe make the base stronger and try again. You accept it happened, and you use that knowledge to build something even better. No regrets means understanding that every choice you've made, good or not so good, has brought you to this very moment. It's about accepting your journey, messy parts and all. So, if you made a choice that didn't turn out great, instead of holding on to the what if, you can ask, what did this teach me? It's a way of saying, okay, that happened and now I understand something new. This frees you to keep moving forward, open to the next adventure, lighter and wiser. Have you ever felt your brain like a busy highway, thoughts rushing by, making it hard to hear yourself think? It's a lot like that sometimes, isn't it? A calm mind isn't empty or free of thoughts. Instead, it's about choosing which thoughts to notice, like finding a quiet park in a loud city. It means having stillness inside, even when the world is noisy and fast. Ancient thinkers, from Greece to China and India, understood this power. The Stoics in Rome, for example, believed we can't control what happens to us, but we can control our reactions. They called inner peace a fortress. Buddhist teachings compare the mind to a wild horse needing gentle training. These ideas tell us true strength isn't just about physical power or leading others. It's about leading your own inner world. Think about doing something important, like a big test or a tricky game shot. If your mind raced with worry, it felt harder, right? But if you took a deep breath, cleared your thoughts, and focused, things felt much easier. This is your calm mind working. It's like a clear lake. When the surface is still, you see all the way to the bottom. A calm mind helps you see your feelings and challenges clearly. You understand things better and make smarter choices. This power of a calm mind isn't about ignoring problems. It's about facing them with a steady heart and clear head. It helps you stay strong and balanced when life gets tough. And that's why it matters. Finding that inner quiet can help you feel more in control, more peaceful, no matter the storm outside. It's a quiet strength inside you that can't be taken away. Have you ever wondered why it feels so deeply wrong when something isn't fair? Imagine playing a game and the rules suddenly change just for you, or someone else gets a bigger slice of cake just because. That knot in your stomach? That's your inner sense of fairness reacting. Fairness isn't just a rule someone made up. It's a feeling, a deep sense that things should be balanced and just. It's about treating people equally, giving everyone a chance, and making sure everyone gets what they deserve. Not more, not less. When things are fair, we feel safe. We feel seen. When they aren't, it's like a puzzle piece is missing from the world. Think about how old this idea is. Thousands of years ago, great thinkers like Aristotle, an ancient Greek philosopher, talked a lot about justice. He believed that a good society was a fair society, one where everyone knew their place and received what was appropriate for them. Even before him, ancient laws and stories from cultures all over the world show this deep desire for balance and rightness. It's almost like it's built into us, a part of what makes us human. Our brains actually respond to fairness. When we see someone treated unfairly, the same parts of our brain that feel physical pain can light up. It's like our minds are wired to notice when the scales are tipped. When you see a friend share their lunch equally, or a teacher gives everyone the same amount of time for a project, there's a quiet sense of rightness, a feeling of calm. It's because fairness helps us trust each other. It helps groups work better and feel more connected. So why does fairness feel right? Maybe it's because deep down, we know that when things are fair, the world makes more sense. It allows us to live together, not just in peace, but in a way that respects each other. It reminds us that every person matters and that we all deserve to be treated with dignity. And in that feeling, there's a quiet strength, a gentle hope for a better way to be human together. Have you ever looked at something and thought you knew exactly what it was, only to find out later you were totally wrong? Maybe you saw a weird shape in the dark and were convinced it was a monster, then realized it was just a jacket on a chair. Our minds do this a lot, even in broad daylight, with ideas and people. Ancient thinkers, especially the philosophers in ancient Greece, spent a lot of time wondering about this. They question if we truly see the world as it is, or if our minds always add a kind of filter. They called it seeing clearly, not just with your physical eyes, but with your understanding. Plato, a famous Greek philosopher, told a story about people living in a cave, only ever seeing shadows on a wall. They believed those shadows were reality, not knowing there was a whole bright world outside casting those shadows. This idea suggests that what we think is real might just be a distorted version, a shadow of the actual truth. Here's the thing. Our own experiences, our feelings, and even what our friends believe can act like those filters. Say you have a strong opinion about a new rule at school. You might only look for reasons why it's bad, ignoring anything good about it. You're seeing the rule through a filter of your own feelings, not seeing it clearly. A scientist, for example, tries really hard to remove these filters. They look at data, not just what they want the data to say. They try to see things as they are without their hopes or fears getting in the way. So, how can we try to see more clearly? It means pausing before you jump to conclusions. It means asking yourself, am I really seeing this as it is, or am I just seeing what I expect to see? It's about being curious enough to look past the first glance, to question your own view, and to be open to other possibilities. When you start to do this, you begin to understand that true sight isn't just about your eyes, but about the quiet openness of your mind. It's a calm, ongoing search for a more honest way to look at everything around us, and even at ourselves. Have you ever looked up at the night sky and felt really, really tiny? Like just a speck in a giant, endless space? That feeling is actually a part of an ancient idea. It's about figuring out your place in the big picture. This means understanding that you, as one person, are connected to everything else. You're part of a massive, ongoing story that started long, long ago and continues now. Many ancient thinkers spent their lives pondering this very idea. Think about the Stoics, who lived in ancient Greece and Rome. They believed that everyone is like a single puzzle piece in the giant puzzle of the universe. Each piece is important, and without it, the whole picture isn't complete. These philosophers said we should focus on what we can control, our actions, our thoughts, and accept what we can't, knowing we're part of something much bigger. It helps us see that our individual lives are not just random but woven into the fabric of the world around us. Here's an example. Think about your own body. It's made of trillions of tiny cells. Each cell has a job, and it works with other cells. A heart cell is different from a brain cell, but they all work together perfectly to make you. You are one unique cell in the huge body of humanity, or even the entire planet. Your actions, big or small, are like the work of one of those cells. They might seem tiny by themselves, but they contribute to the whole. So, when you feel small in the vastness of the world, remember that your existence isn't meaningless, it's deeply connected. Every kind word you say, every choice you make, every bit of kindness you share, it all ripples out. You are not just a speck, you are a vital thread in the grand tapestry of life. And that's why your unique thread matters so much, because the whole picture wouldn't be the same without it. Have you ever really truly listened to someone? I mean, not just heard sounds, but actually listened to understand. It's a funny thing. We spend so much time talking or waiting for our turn to talk, but the old philosophers, the wise people from way back, they knew something important about silence and paying attention. Listening is more than just letting sounds hit your ears. It's about opening your mind and your heart to what another person is saying. It's trying to understand their feelings, their thoughts, their whole message, even the parts they don't say out loud. Think about ancient Greece, places like Plato's Academy, or the teachings of Confucius in old China. These thinkers weren't just great speakers. They were amazing listeners. They understood that to learn, to grow, and to truly connect with others, you had to listen deeply. They saw listening as a kind of art, a skill you practiced and got better at over time. It wasn't about waiting for your turn to speak. It was about making quiet space inside yourself for the other person's world. Here's how it works in real life. Imagine your best friend is telling you about something that went wrong at school. You could just nod your head, maybe think about what you'll say next. But real listening is different. You put your phone down, you look them in the eye, you try to feel what they're feeling. You hear their words, sure, but you also pick up on the sadness in their voice or the way their shoulders slump a little. It's like you're trying to see the world through their eyes for a few moments, really stepping into their shoes. And that's why this old art of listening still matters so much today. When we truly listen, we learn. We build stronger connections with people. We find out things about the world and even about ourselves that we would totally miss if we were just waiting for our turn to talk. So here's the thing. Maybe the quietest moments, the ones where we simply listen without judgment, are actually the most powerful ones. They help us understand. And that understanding can change everything, making our world feel a little bit bigger and more connected. Have you ever messed up something important? Maybe a test, a project, or saying the wrong thing to a friend? That feeling can be tough. It might make you want to just disappear. But what if those moments, those slips, are actually the very things that build you up? What if making mistakes is a secret power, something ancient thinkers understood? When we make a mistake, it's not truly an end. It's more like a signpost. It shows us what didn't work. Think about learning to ride a bike. You don't just hop on and go perfectly. You wobble, you fall, maybe you scrape a knee, but each fall teaches your brain something. You adjust your balance. You try pedaling differently. Those falls aren't failures. They are lessons. You get stronger and smarter because of them. Hundreds of years ago, philosophers like the Stoics from ancient Greece and Rome talked about challenges. They believed hard times and our own errors weren't just bad luck. Instead, they saw them as chances to grow. For them, a mistake wasn't something to hide from. It was a chance to learn patience, understand yourself, and build inner strength. They knew facing something difficult and figuring it out made you wiser, not weaker. It's like when a tree gets hit by strong winds. It might lose leaves, but its roots grow deeper, making it more stable for the next storm. So, the next time you trip up or get something wrong, pause. Don't just feel bad. Look closely at what happened. Ask yourself, what did I learn here? How can this make me better? Because every mistake, every misstep is a hidden opportunity. It's a chance to understand more, to become more resilient, and to truly become stronger than you were before. And that's why it matters. Have you ever felt like you're just following a path someone else made for you? Like there's a sidewalk already paved, and you're just walking along it, not really deciding where you're going next? Here's the thing. Ancient thinkers, from philosophers like Aristotle in Greece to wise teachers in China, wondered if our lives are decided by fate, or if we truly have the freedom to pick our own way. This idea is about more than just what you'll eat for lunch. It's about agency, your power to act and make your own choices, to truly be the main character in your own story, writing it as you go. For a long time, many societies believed fate was in charge, but some philosophers push back. The Stoics, for example, a group of thinkers from ancient Greece and Rome, taught that while we can't control everything that happens to us, we can absolutely control how we react. That's a huge piece of choosing your own path. It's not just about picking where you're going, but how you travel, what thoughts you carry, and what actions you take. Think about it like this. Imagine playing a new video game. It has rules and maybe a main quest. But within those, you often get to decide if you take on side quests, what skills your character develops, or which characters you befriend. You're not just a character being played, you are the player making the choices. In your own life, it's similar. You might have responsibilities like school or chores, but within those, you have so much room to decide who you want to be. You can choose to be kind, to learn something new, or to stand up for what's right. So, while the world might try to nudge you in certain directions, remember that a big part of being human is holding the map. You get to decide which trails you explore, which mountains you try to climb, and where your unique journey truly leads. It's a quiet, powerful freedom, a responsibility, and a gift, waiting for you to use it one choice at a time. Have you ever really thought about what it means to be a good person? It seems like a simple idea at first. We might think, oh, I know a good person when I see one. But what does that word good truly mean when we're talking about how someone lives? It's not just about following rules. It goes much deeper. For thousands of years, people have wrestled with this very question. Wise thinkers from long ago, in places like Greece and China, spent their lives trying to figure out what makes a life well lived. They believed that being good wasn't about being perfect. Here's the thing. They thought goodness came from building a strong character, from the small, consistent choices we make every day. If you consistently choose kindness, honesty, and courage, those actions begin to shape who you become. Think about it like building a muscle. You don't get strong by lifting one heavy weight. You get strong by consistent small exercises over time. Being a good person works a lot like that. It's about the everyday decisions, choosing to help a friend study, even when you're tired, deciding to tell the truth, even when it's uncomfortable, or speaking up for someone treated unfairly. These aren't huge, heroic acts. They are quiet, powerful choices. So, these ancient ideas teach us that being a good person isn't a rare quality only a few possess. Instead, it's a path we walk, day by day, moment by moment. It's about striving to make those small, positive choices that build us into the kind of person we want to be. And that's why it matters. Our actions, no matter how small, truly have meaning. Have you ever stopped to think about how the smallest actions in your day, the ones you barely notice, add up to something huge? It's a quiet truth, one that wise people from ancient times across the world knew well. They understood that who we become isn't decided in one grand moment. Instead, it's shaped by the steady drip, drip, drip of little things we do, day in and day out. These ancient thinkers believed that our character, our true self, is like a beautiful mosaic built from countless tiny pieces. Each choice we make, each habit we form, even the things we hardly think about, becomes a part of that bigger picture. It's not about sudden, dramatic changes. It's about the quiet power of consistency, of doing small things repeatedly over time. Imagine you want to learn to play the guitar. You could try to practice for 5 hours straight just once a month. That might feel overwhelming. Or you could pick it up for just 15 minutes every single day. Which way makes you a truly skilled player over a year? The consistent, small effort, right? Each short session builds on the last, strengthening your fingers, training your ear, slowly turning you into a real musician. This steady, small effort, repeated daily, makes all the difference. This isn't just about skills or hobbies though. It's about everything in your life. Think about the words you choose to say to a friend. Consider the way you react when something goes wrong, or even the small decision to help someone. Every tiny choice, every single habit, leaves a small but lasting mark. Over time, these marks weave together, creating the person you are, the life you live, and the world you help build. It's a powerful idea. It reminds us that even the smallest acts of kindness, of learning, or of effort truly matter. They are the quiet, constant force shaping your future, one tiny moment at a time. Have you ever tried really hard to make everyone happy? Like, you want your friends, your family, your teachers, everyone to like what you do? It's a common feeling, right? We often want to be accepted and appreciated by everyone around us. But here's the thing. No matter how much you try, you'll find it's just not possible to please every single person. And that's okay. This isn't about you failing. It's about how different people are. Everyone sees the world through their own unique eyes, and that means they have different ideas, different feelings, and different needs. What makes one person happy might not even matter to another, or it might even bother them. Think about some really old ideas, like those from the ancient Greek philosophers. People like the Stoics, who lived thousands of years ago, understood this deeply. They talked about focusing on what you can control and letting go of what you can't. They knew you can control your own actions, your own choices, and how you react to things. But you can't control what other people think or how they feel about your actions. Their opinions are completely up to them, not you. So trying to twist yourself into knots to fit every single person's expectation is a losing game. It just leads to a lot of stress and unhappiness for you. Imagine you're picking a movie to watch with a group of friends. One friend wants an action movie, another wants a comedy, and someone else wants a sad drama. You can't pick one movie that will perfectly satisfy everyone without someone feeling a little disappointed. You pick the best one for the group, or maybe take turns. It's the same in life. You make choices based on what you believe is right or good, and you accept that not everyone will agree. So, the wisdom here is simple but deep. You are enough just as you are. Your worth isn't tied to making every single person pleased. Instead, focus on being true to yourself, acting kindly, and making choices that feel right to you. That's where real peace and strength come from, and that's why it matters. Have you ever wanted something so badly right this second, or felt like everything in life should happen instantly? We live in a world that often celebrates speed, where information flies at us, and we expect quick results. But here's the thing, some of the best things in life take time to grow. This idea, waiting calmly without getting upset, is called patience. It's not just about sitting still, it's about a deep understanding that some moments simply need to unfold. Think about ancient philosophers, wise people from long ago. The Stoics, a group of thinkers in ancient Greece, believed that a big part of wisdom was accepting what you can't control. They knew that true strength isn't about rushing, but about staying calm and steady, letting things happen when they're supposed to. And in other parts of the world, like with the teachings of Buddha, there was also a focus on letting go of our instant desires, understanding that peace comes from not always needing things right now. They saw patience as a quiet power. Here's an example. Imagine you're trying to learn a new skill, like playing the guitar or drawing a really detailed picture. You don't just pick it up perfectly on the first try, do you? You practice, make mistakes, and slowly, little by little, your hands get better, your understanding grows. It takes time. You can't rush that process. If you try to force it, you'll just get frustrated. But if you stick with it patiently, one day you'll be playing a song or seeing your artwork come to life, and it will be amazing. Patience isn't about being passive or doing nothing. It's an active choice to be present, to trust the process, and to understand that some good things simply need time to grow. When you practice patience, you find a quiet strength inside you. You start to see how everything unfolds, not just instantly, but in its own perfect way. This can help you feel less stressed and make wiser choices. It truly is a powerful gift, one that can make your whole life feel calmer and more meaningful. Have you ever felt a sudden burst of anger, a quiet wave of sadness, or a bright spark of joy, and wondered what that feeling truly was? Our emotions can sometimes feel like a wild, untamed sea inside us, pulling us in different directions. But what if we could learn to read the waves, to understand the currents, instead of just being swept away? Understanding your own feelings means recognizing these inner signals. Think of them like messages your body and mind send you. Happiness might be a message that something good is happening, while frustration could be a signal that you need to try a different approach. These feelings are not good or bad. They just are. They are information. People have been thinking about feelings for thousands of years. Ancient Greek thinkers, like a group called the Stoics, believe that while we can't always control what happens to us, we can choose how we respond to our feelings. They didn't say to ignore your emotions, but to observe them, like watching clouds drift across the sky. If you see a big, dark cloud of sadness forming, you don't have to let it pour rain everywhere. You can acknowledge it's there, but also understand it will pass. Imagine your inner world is like the weather. Sometimes it's sunny and calm. Other times, a sudden thunderstorm of anger or anxiety rolls in. Just like a meteorologist studies weather patterns, we can learn to study our emotional patterns. When you feel that tightness in your chest, or that urge to shout, pause, ask yourself, what is this feeling telling me right now? Is it about fear, unfairness, or just plain tiredness? Learning to understand your feelings is a quiet journey of self-discovery. It's not about stopping emotions, but about getting to know them. When you recognize a feeling for what it is, it loses some of its power over you. You become the curious observer, not just the person caught in the storm. This understanding builds a quiet strength within you, letting you move through the world with more wisdom and less worry. Have you ever stopped to think about how you truly see you? Not just what you look like in a mirror, but who you really are inside. What qualities do you think you have? What kind of person do you believe you are deep down? This idea, how you define your identity, your strengths, your weaknesses, your values, is your self-concept. It's like an inner portrait you hold, and it's incredibly powerful. Philosophers have puzzled over this for thousands of years. Ancient Greek thinkers, especially Socrates, famously said, "Know thyself." He believed understanding who you are was the most important step to living a good life. They saw that our thoughts about ourselves aren't just random. They shape our actions, our choices, and how we interact with the world. If you believe you're not good at something, you might not even try. But if you believe you can learn, you'll likely put in the effort. Here's the thing, this inner portrait isn't set in stone. It's built up over time like layers of paint on a canvas. Our experiences, the people around us, and even the stories we tell ourselves all add brushstrokes to this picture. Think about a scientist forming a hypothesis. They gather evidence, test ideas, and refine their understanding. We do something similar with ourselves. We try things, learn from mistakes, and slowly, our understanding of who we are becomes clearer. Sometimes, we might see ourselves differently than others do, or in a way that doesn't quite match who we truly are. But knowing yourself, with all your quirks and wonders, is a journey. It's about accepting the unique person you are right now, while also being open to growing into the person you're meant to be. It's a quiet strength, knowing your own heart. Do you ever find yourself waiting for happiness? Maybe you tell yourself, I'll be happy when school ends, or I'll feel good once summer vacation starts. We often live like our best life is always waiting somewhere in the future. But what if the moment you're in right now is actually the most important one? This idea of living in the now means being fully present. It's about really seeing, hearing, and feeling what's happening around you. Your mind often acts like a time machine, flying to yesterday's regrets or tomorrow's worries. Living in the now means grounding that time machine, right here. Many ancient thinkers knew this. Philosophers like the Stoics in ancient Greece, and thinkers from Eastern traditions taught that peace comes from focusing on your thoughts and actions in this moment. They believed we can't change the past, and the future isn't here yet. So, all we truly have is this second, this breath. It's not about ignoring planning, it's about not letting the past or future steal the aliveness of today. Here's an example. Imagine you're walking outside on a sunny day. Your friends are laughing, the air feels warm, but instead of noticing these things, you're looking at your phone, scrolling, thinking about a quiz next week. You're physically there, but your mind is far away. You miss the simple good things happening right then. When we practice living in the now, it's like we finally open our eyes to the world that's been right in front of us. It means tasting your food, not just eating it. It means truly listening when a friend talks. It means finding small bits of wonder and peace in everyday moments. And that's why it matters. Because the only moment we truly have to live is this one. Have you ever stopped, looked at something simple, and felt a quiet question rise inside you? Like, why does the moon hang in the sky, always changing, yet always there? Or why do we feel a certain way when we hear a particular song? That deep, curious feeling, that urge to understand not just what is happening, but why it's happening, is as old as humanity itself. Asking why is not just about finding an answer. It's about searching for the reason, the purpose, the hidden truth behind things. It's about looking past the surface and digging deeper. This simple question opens up entire worlds of understanding. Think about how a detective solves a mystery. They don't just look at what happened, they constantly ask why it happened. Why was that door unlocked? Why did that person say that? Thousands of years ago, long before the internet or even books were common, ancient thinkers like Socrates in Greece spent their lives just asking why. He would walk around and ask people, why do you believe that is fair? Or why do you think that is true? He didn't do it to trick them, but to make them truly think about their beliefs, to really understand the reasons behind their ideas. This simple habit of questioning helped build the very foundations of philosophy, science, and even our understanding of justice. These ancient wise people knew that if you stopped asking why, you stopped learning and growing. So, here's the thing. Every time you wonder why the sky is blue, or why a friend might be upset, or why a character in a book made a certain choice, you are connecting to this ancient wisdom. You are tapping into a powerful human urge to understand. It's not about getting a quick answer, it's about the journey of asking. Because when you keep asking why, you keep your mind open, your spirit curious, and you slowly build a deeper, richer understanding of yourself and the amazing world around you. It's a quiet journey that never truly ends. Have you ever really thought about your brain? It's not just a squishy thing inside your head, it's the most powerful tool you own. Think of it like a personal superpower. Not about flying or super strength, but about understanding, creating, and shaping your own world right from inside your mind. Your brain is your command center. It tells your body how to move, helps you understand what you see and hear, and lets you imagine things that aren't even real yet. It's what makes you, you. It holds your thoughts, your feelings, and all the memories that build who you are. People have wondered about this for thousands of years. Ancient Greek thinkers who loved wisdom spent their lives trying to figure out how our minds work. They knew something amazing was going on up there. They believed our thoughts and choices came from this inner place. this mind or soul. For them, truly knowing yourself meant knowing your own mind. Here's what I mean. When you're learning a new song on the guitar or trying to solve a tough math problem, your brain isn't just storing facts. It's actively building new connections, practicing, and figuring things out. It helps you take control of that new skill, making something challenging become natural for you. Your brain helps you understand, adapt, and grow. This incredible part of you isn't just busy doing its own thing. It's a tool, a silent partner, ready for you to understand and guide it. It holds your quiet hopes, your wildest dreams, and the power to choose who you want to be. And that's why it matters. Your brain is quietly shaping your future, one thought, one choice at a time. Have you ever felt like you're trying to juggle too many things at once? Maybe school, sports, friends, family, and just trying to get enough sleep? It can feel like there's never enough time, or that you're always behind. So what if people have been thinking about this feeling for thousands of years? This is the idea of a balanced life. It's not about doing everything perfectly or spending exactly equal time on every single thing. Instead, a balanced life is more like a feeling of harmony. It's when your energy, time, and attention are spread out in a way that feels right for you. It's about feeling a sense of peace, not constant stress or feeling pulled in too many directions. Here's the thing. This idea isn't new. Ancient thinkers, like the Greek philosopher Aristotle, talked about finding a golden mean. He believed that for us to be truly happy, we should find a middle path, not too much of one thing and not too little. It's about finding that sweet spot. Other ancient cultures, like those in China, also spoke of balance through ideas like yin and yang. They saw how opposite forces could complement each other. Think of it like being on a school team. If you only practice your sport all day, your grades could slip, and you might miss time with friends. But if you only do homework and never play, you miss the fun of being active. A balanced approach means you practice hard, and you do your schoolwork, and you make time for friends and rest. This helps the whole experience feel better. So, the idea of a balanced life isn't a strict rule book. It's more like a personal tune-up. It's about listening to yourself, figuring out what you need, and gently adjusting things. It's a journey, not a destination. And it reminds us that finding peace means being present and mindful in our daily choices, not perfect. Have you ever paused to truly think about the quiet, often unacknowledged power of a true friend? That feeling when someone just gets you, or when their very presence makes a tough day feel a little lighter? It's more than just having someone to hang out with. Friendship is a deeply important human need, as old as humanity itself. It's about connection, support, and walking together through life's many paths. A friend is like a mirror that helps you see yourself more clearly, reflecting your strengths and helping you understand your struggles. They can also be a sturdy hand that helps you up when you stumble, or a comforting voice in the dark. Ancient thinkers thousands of years ago understood this deeply. The Greek philosopher Aristotle, for instance, spoke often about friendship. He called true friendship a single soul dwelling in two bodies. He believed these kinds of friends help each other grow into better people, challenging them to improve while also offering comfort and understanding. For him, friendship wasn't just a nice thing to have. It was essential for a good life, a life where you could truly thrive and find meaning. The Romans also valued loyal friendships, seeing them as cornerstones of society and personal happiness. Think about it like this. Imagine you're trying to build something complex, like a detailed Lego castle, all by yourself. It's tough, sometimes frustrating, and it takes a long time. But with someone else sharing the task, it's easier and much more fun. One person can hold the base steady while another finds the right bricks. Or imagine you're trying to lift something really heavy on your own. It might be impossible. But with a friend sharing the load, it becomes manageable. Friends do that for our hearts and minds. They share the weight of our worries, making them feel less heavy. And they double the joy of our triumphs, making good times even brighter. So, the ancient wisdom reminds us that we are not meant to walk through life completely alone. Our friends are not just companions. They are crucial parts of our journey, helping to shape who we become. They remind us of our own worth and show us the beauty and strength that comes from true human connection. They are a quiet, lasting force that helps us navigate the world. Have you ever felt like something just wasn't fair? Maybe someone got blamed for something they didn't do, or someone else got credit for your hard work. That feeling, that strong sense of what's right and what's wrong, touches on something ancient and powerful: justice. But what is justice, really? Is it just about laws and punishments? Or is it something deeper, something we feel in our hearts? Here's the thing. Justice is basically about fairness. It's about making sure people get what they deserve, whether that's a reward for doing something good or facing consequences for doing something harmful. It's also about treating everyone equally, no matter who they are. Imagine a giant scale, like the ones you see in old pictures of Lady Justice. On one side are good actions, on the other are bad ones. Justice tries to balance that scale so that everything is even and fair. People have been wrestling with this idea for thousands of years. Ancient Greek thinkers like Plato and Aristotle spent their whole lives trying to figure out what a truly just society would look like. They wondered about what makes a person good, what makes a community good, and how we can all live together in a way that respects everyone. They believed that justice wasn't just about following rules, it was about living a good life, where everyone played their part and contributed to the common good. Think of it like a sports team. Justice on a team means everyone gets a fair chance, everyone follows the rules, and if someone messes up, there are consequences, but also a path to make things right. It's not just about winning, it's about playing the game fairly. So, justice isn't just about big courtrooms or grand laws. It starts in our everyday lives. It's in how we share with friends, how we speak up when something isn't fair, and how we try to make things right when we mess up ourselves. It's a quiet hum inside us, pushing us to do what is right, not just for ourselves, but for everyone around us. And that's why it matters so much. Have you ever felt a quiet tug inside you, telling you to do something that wasn't what everyone else was doing? Maybe your friends were all into one thing, but you really wanted to try something different, something totally your own. Here's the thing. That feeling is about courage. It's about the courage to be different. This idea isn't new. For thousands of years, thinkers have explored what it means to stand apart from the crowd. Think about ancient philosophers like Socrates. He lived in ancient Greece and was known for asking really deep, challenging questions about life, truth, and how people should behave. Back then, most people just accepted what they were told. But Socrates didn't. He questioned everything, even the powerful leaders of his city. He wanted people to think for themselves, to find their own answers, even if those answers were different from what was popular. This made some people uncomfortable, because his ideas challenged the way things were always done. So, the courage to be different means choosing your own path, even when it feels lonely or scary. It means trusting your own mind and heart, even if it goes against what your peers expect. It's not about being rebellious just to be rebellious. It's about staying true to yourself, your values, and your unique thoughts. Think about a scientist, like Marie Curie, who pursued her groundbreaking work in radioactivity when many in her field, especially women, were not encouraged to do such things. She faced criticism and doubt, but she believed in her research and kept going. Her courage to follow her unique intellectual path changed the world. And here's why it matters. When you have the courage to be different, you're not just being true to yourself. You're also opening doors for new ideas and possibilities in the world. It takes a quiet strength to walk your own way, to trust your inner compass. But when you do, you discover a deeper peace and a unique sense of purpose that no one else can give you. It helps you become truly you. Have you ever wondered why you believe certain things? Is it because someone told you they were true, or because you explored the idea yourself? Here's the thing. Thinking for yourself isn't about being stubborn or always disagreeing. It's about taking the information around you, whether it's from friends, teachers, or the internet, and processing it in your own mind. It's about looking at different sides, asking questions, and forming your own honest opinions. Long ago, thinkers like the ancient Greek philosopher Socrates encouraged people to constantly question. He didn't just tell them answers. He asked questions that made them really dig into their own thoughts. This wasn't to be annoying. It was because he knew true understanding comes from inside you, from your own search for truth, not just from being told what to think. These ancient ideas remind us that having a curious mind is powerful. It means you don't just accept what's handed to you. Instead, you hold it up to the light, examine it, and decide if it truly makes sense to you. Think about it like this. Imagine you're told a certain type of music is the best, and everyone around you seems to agree. Do you just start liking it because others do? Or do you listen to it with your own ears, noticing the melody, the lyrics, the feeling? Maybe you decide you actually prefer something totally different, and that's okay. Your own honest feeling about the music is your truth. Or maybe you learn about a historical event. You read different accounts, you look at maps, you imagine what it felt like, you form your own picture, rather than just repeating a single story from a textbook. This act of stepping back and truly thinking for yourself builds a quiet strength within you. It helps you understand the world more deeply and feel more connected to your own ideas. It's like building your own mental map instead of just using someone else's. And that's a journey worth taking. Have you ever wondered why some things just feel right to do, even when nobody's watching? Or why keeping your word feels so important? These feelings connect us to something very old, the idea of a code of honor. So, what is a code of honor? It's basically a set of unwritten rules about how people should act. It's not laws from a government, but more like a deep understanding of what's good and right. Think of it as a personal compass, guiding your actions based on strong beliefs like honesty, courage, and loyalty. It's about having integrity, which means doing the right thing because it's right, not because you'll get a reward or avoid punishment. For thousands of years, people have lived by these kinds of codes. In ancient Greece, philosophers like Aristotle talked a lot about virtue. He believed that living a good life meant practicing virtuous qualities like bravery, fairness, and wisdom until they became habits. Knights in the Middle Ages had strict codes about protecting the weak and being truthful. Samurai in Japan followed a code called Bushido, which stressed loyalty, honor, and self-discipline above all else. These codes shaped how warriors, leaders, and even everyday people saw themselves and treated others. They built trust and order in societies long ago. Think about a sports team. There are written rules, but there's also an unwritten code. You show up on time, you work hard, you support your teammates, you play fair, and you respect your opponents. If someone on the team constantly breaks these unwritten rules, maybe they're always late or they cheat, it doesn't just hurt their own reputation, it hurts the whole team. That feeling of disappointment you get, that's the old code of honor at work, reminding us how important these shared values are for everyone to get along and succeed. Even now, these ancient ideas are still with us, quietly shaping our decisions. We still admire people who are brave, honest, and loyal. These old codes remind us that how we choose to act, our character, really matters. They help us build trust with others and live in a way that feels true to ourselves, creating a better world, one honest choice at a time. Have you ever felt like your whole life is a giant knot, like everything is tangled up and you just can't seem to find the end of the string? We all have moments like that. Maybe it's a pile of homework, a tough family situation, or just a day where nothing seems to go right. And when things are messy on the outside, it often feels messy on the inside too. So, how do we find peace when the world around us feels anything but peaceful? It's not about making the mess disappear instantly. Here's the thing. True peace isn't just about having everything calm and perfect. Instead, it's about finding a quiet center within the storm. It's about being okay, even when things are not okay. This idea isn't new. Ancient thinkers, like the Stoics from Greece and Rome, talked a lot about this. Philosophers like Seneca and Marcus Aurelius knew life was full of challenges. They taught that we can't always control what happens to us, but we can always control how we react to it. They believe that our inner calm, our peace, comes from choosing how we think and feel, no matter what external chaos is swirling. Think of it like being in a busy airport. There are loud announcements, people rushing everywhere, bags flying past. It's a lot, but you can choose to focus on your book or listen to music and create a little bubble of calm around yourself. You don't stop the airport from being busy, but you find your own peace within it. So, when life gets messy, remember you don't have to fix every single strand of the knot right away. You can just breathe. You can accept that some things are out of your control, and you can choose to find that calm spot inside yourself. That inner peace isn't a magical fix for all your problems, but it's a quiet strength that helps you navigate them. It means you can be in the mess and still be okay. Have you ever held onto something so tightly, a feeling or a thought, even when it hurt to keep holding it? Maybe it was anger about something unfair or sadness over a friendship that ended. Sometimes we cling to things that are already gone or worries about things we can't change. Here's the thing. The art of letting go isn't about not caring. It's actually a deep kind of strength. It means choosing to release what weighs you down, like a heavy backpack you've been carrying for too long. Think about it like this. If you're holding a bunch of old, dried up leaves in your hand, you can't pick up a fresh, beautiful flower until you open your hand and let the old leaves fall. Letting go is like opening your hand. It's making space for something new to come into your life, whether that's peace, a new idea, or even just quiet. Long ago, wise people like the Stoics who lived in ancient Greece and Rome talked about this. They believed you couldn't control everything that happens to you. You can't control the weather or what other people say or even the past. But they said you can control how you react to these things. So, if something bad happens, instead of holding on to the anger or sadness, they taught us to accept what is and then choose how to move forward. This isn't about forgetting, it's about not letting the past control your present. Imagine you're trying to build a really tall tower with blocks. If some blocks keep falling, you can get mad and keep trying to use those broken blocks, or you can gently set them aside and pick up new, strong ones. Letting go of those broken blocks helps you keep building. When you let go of old hurts or worries, you create room for your mind to feel lighter and see things more clearly. It's a quiet decision to stop fighting what can't be changed and instead, just breathe. Have you ever felt a certain way after hearing an old tale? Maybe a feeling of hope or warning? It's like those stories really stay with you. Here's the thing. Old stories, myths, fables, legends aren't just make-believe from long ago. They are like quiet rivers flowing through time, carrying ideas about courage, honesty, and what's right or wrong. These tales quietly shape how we see the world, how we act, and even what we believe about ourselves, often without us even noticing. For thousands of years, long before books or the internet, people gathered around campfires, telling stories. These weren't just for fun or entertainment. They were how knowledge was passed down, how rules for living were shared, and how important lessons were taught. Ancient Greek myths, for instance, didn't just explain the world, they also taught about things like pride or wisdom. Fables like Aesop's often ended with a clear moral, a simple rule for life. These stories were essential guides, showing people how to live, what to fear, and what to value. Think about the idea of a hero. Almost every culture around the world has stories about brave people facing huge challenges and winning. From Hercules in ancient Greek myths to modern superheroes in your favorite movies, these tales tell us good can overcome evil, courage matters, and standing up for what's right is important. So, when you face something tough in your own life, that old hero story might quietly pop into your head. It might give you a tiny push to be brave, even if you don't quite realize where that feeling came from. The idea of overcoming big challenges, rooted in countless old tales, lives inside you. It's truly amazing how whispers from the distant past can still echo so strongly in our lives today. These stories aren't just history sitting in old books. Instead, they are living maps in our minds, showing us paths to understanding ourselves and the world, quietly guiding our steps. Have you ever felt that quiet hum of belonging? Like you're truly part of something much bigger than just yourself? That deep feeling, that sense of connection, it's the very heart of what we call community. It isn't just about being in a group. It's about a shared journey, a gentle understanding, and a feeling of support that lifts you up. The power of community means finding strength not just within yourself, but in each other. It's the steady promise that you are not alone, that a web of shared purpose and wisdom waits for you. Think about how humans have always lived. For thousands of years, people didn't survive alone. They lived in tribes and villages, working together. They hunted as a team, built shelters, and protected each other. This wasn't just a choice, it was how they thrived. Ancient thinkers like Aristotle, a wise Greek philosopher, understood this. He said humans are social animals. He meant we are naturally wired to connect, to live in groups, to belong. Our very nature guides us toward others, seeking comfort and shared experience. Here's how it works. Imagine a forest. You see many individual trees, but beneath the ground their roots often connect, forming a silent network. Through these hidden paths, trees share water, nutrients, and even send warning signals. If one tree struggles, others might send it help. The whole forest, this giant living community, thrives because of these unseen connections. It's a living system that works together. And that's how it is with us. When we connect deeply with others, when we find our own forest of understanding and support, we become so much more. We gain courage, new ideas, and a powerful sense of purpose. Our roots intertwine, making us stronger together. Finding your community, like friends, a school club, or a shared cause, is important. It reminds you that even when things feel tough, you are part of something ancient and truly powerful, something that has always helped humans grow. Have you ever stopped to think about how much we rely on things being real, on things being true? Imagine trying to build a tall building if the blueprints were all wrong, or if the measurements were lies. It just wouldn't stand. Truth is a bit like those solid foundations. It's the deep, honest bedrock beneath everything we do, everything we believe. So, what is truth, really? It's simply seeing things as they are, not how we wish them to be, or how someone else wants us to see them. It's what's real, what's factual, what endures when you test it. For thousands of years, people like the ancient Greek thinkers, brave philosophers like Socrates and Plato, spent their lives searching for this very thing. They knew that if we base our lives on lies or false ideas, we'd be lost, like sailing a ship without a compass. They believed that knowing the truth was essential for living a good life, for building fair societies, and for understanding ourselves. Here's the thing. Truth acts like a powerful light. It helps us see clearly in the dark. Think about a science experiment in class. If you don't record the actual results, but instead just write down what you hope happened, your experiment is useless. You won't learn anything real. You can't build new knowledge on made-up facts. The same goes for trusting people. When someone tells you the truth, even when it's hard, it builds a connection, a kind of strong bridge between you. But when lies are told, that bridge crumbles and trust breaks down. And that's why it matters so much. Truth helps us grow not just as individuals, but as a whole world. It lets us learn from our mistakes, discover new ideas, and build things that actually last. When we seek truth, we're not just looking for facts, we're looking for a way to live with more honesty, more understanding, and more peace. It helps us navigate life with a clear mind and an open heart, guiding us towards what is truly good and right. Have you ever wondered what it truly means to be wise? It's more than just knowing a lot of facts or getting good grades in school. Being smart is about gathering information, about knowing how things work, but wisdom, that's different. It's about understanding the world deeply, about seeing how everything connects, and knowing how to live your own life well. Think about it. A person might know every single capital city, but if they always make bad choices with their friends or spend all their money unwisely, are they truly wise? Probably not. Ancient thinkers, especially in places like ancient Greece, spent a lot of time thinking about this very idea. Philosophers like Socrates believed that true wisdom often meant understanding what you didn't know. It was about being humble and always searching for truth, not about having all the answers. For them, wisdom wasn't just book knowledge. It was a way of being, a way of approaching life's many challenges with clear eyes and a calm heart. They believed it helped you live a good life, a happy life, even when things got tough. Here's the thing. Wisdom is a lot like having a really good internal compass. Imagine you're exploring a huge, unknown city. Knowing the names of all the streets is helpful, but wisdom is like knowing which paths lead to safety, which lead to adventure, and which ones are best avoided altogether. It's not just about reading the map. It's about knowing how to navigate the city of life itself, understanding its hidden alleys and shortcuts, and knowing when to ask for directions. And that's why it matters. So, being wise means having a deep, practical understanding of life, of people, and of yourself. It's about making good choices, not just because you know the rules, but because you understand what might happen next and the true value of things. It's a quiet strength, a way to move through the world with purpose and kindness. And it's an ongoing journey, not a destination you just arrive at one day. Have you ever stopped to really think about what it means to do your best? We hear this phrase often, in school, in sports, or at home. But here's the thing. It's not always about being perfect or winning. It's much deeper. Doing your best means truly applying yourself, putting in genuine effort, and focusing on the task. It means doing what you can do right now, with the skills and resources you have. It's about your honest intention and the care you put into your actions, more than just the final result. This idea isn't new. Thousands of years ago, in ancient Greece, Thinkers like Aristotle talked about arete. This word means virtue or excellence. For them, it was about reaching your full human potential. It meant striving to be the best version of yourself, not for showing off, but to truly improve. Think of an athlete always trying to improve skills, not just to win, but loving the challenge of getting better. That striving for excellence was a meaningful way to live. Think about learning a musical instrument, like the guitar. When you first pick it up, you won't sound like a rock star. You'll make mistakes and some notes will sound off. But if you practice with patience, focus on each chord, and keep trying even when it feels hard, you are doing your best. It's not about how the song sounds to a professional. It's about your personal commitment, your dedication to practice, and the effort you put in to get better, little by little. That journey, that focused effort is your best. So, doing your best is a very personal journey. It's about how you approach challenges and choose to act. It reminds us there's a quiet strength in simply trying and giving your honest effort. This helps us find a deep, calm satisfaction, knowing we have given what we could. In the end, that effort is truly enough. Have you ever noticed how a simple thank you can change the whole feeling in a room? That feeling is connected to gratitude. It's more than just saying thanks. Gratitude is about truly seeing and appreciating the good things in your life, even the small ones. It's recognizing when someone helps you, or when nature gives you a beautiful sunset. It's feeling thankful for what you have, instead of always wishing for something else. For thousands of years, thinkers from different cultures have talked about how important gratitude is. Ancient Greek philosophers like Seneca believed being thankful was a key to a good life. They thought it wasn't just polite. It was a way to find happiness and peace inside yourself. In many old traditions, people would have rituals to express thanks for food, for sunshine, for community. It wasn't just a random act. It was a deep understanding that we're all connected and reliant on many things beyond ourselves. Think of your brain like a garden. If you keep planting weeds of complaints and things you don't like, your garden will get messy and sad. But if you plant seeds of gratitude by noticing a friend's kindness, or how a teacher explains something clearly, or even just having a warm place to sleep, then your brain garden grows beautiful flowers. Scientists and psychologists today even agree. They've found that people who regularly practice gratitude tend to be happier, less stressed, and even sleep better. It helps you see the world in brighter colors. So, gratitude isn't just about being polite. It's a powerful tool, an old wisdom that helps us appreciate life. When you choose to be grateful, you're not just making someone else feel good. You're actually changing your own mind, making it a more welcoming place. It helps you find beauty and meaning in everyday moments, making your journey through life feel richer and more connected. Have you ever felt that nagging feeling, like something important is missing from your life? Maybe a new phone, cooler clothes, or a bigger allowance. It's easy to feel like we need more to be happy. But what if true happiness isn't about getting more? What if it's about learning to live with and truly appreciate what you already have? This idea is about finding peace and contentment right where you are, with the things and people already around you. It means accepting your situation, even the parts that aren't perfect, and finding strength in them. For thousands of years, wise thinkers from ancient Greece to Rome and even further east explored this very idea. Philosophers like the Stoics taught that much of our suffering comes from wanting things we don't have, or trying to control what we can't. Here's the thing. They believed real freedom came from focusing on what you can control, your own thoughts, actions, and attitude, and letting go of the rest. They weren't saying don't try to improve your life, but rather find peace in the present moment, no matter what. Think about a time you really wanted a brand new video game, but you only had an older one. You might have felt a little disappointed at first. But then, maybe you started playing the older game more, exploring its levels, mastering its challenges, and actually found a lot of fun in it. You realized you didn't need the latest thing to have a good time. That's living with what you have, making the most of it, finding the good in it. It's a quiet strength, this way of thinking. It teaches us that our happiness isn't always out there, waiting for us to buy it or achieve it. Sometimes, it's already here, inside us, in the simple act of seeing the value in what we already possess. And that can make a real difference in how you feel every day. Have you ever wondered if there's a way to feel calm and settled inside, even when the world around you gets loud or messy? What if I told you that ancient people found a secret to just that feeling, and it still works today? This secret is called inner peace. It's not about everything being perfect around you. It's a deep, quiet strength that lives inside you, a feeling of calm no matter what troubles pop up. For thousands of years, wise people in different parts of the world talked about this. Thinkers from ancient Greece, like the Stoics, and spiritual leaders in Asia, like the Buddha, all pointed to the same idea. They understood that you can't control everything that happens to you. You can't stop a stormy day or control what other people say or do. But here's the thing. You can absolutely control how you react to those things. That's where inner peace comes from, choosing your response. Imagine you study really hard for a test and you feel good about it, but then you get your score back and it's lower than you hoped. You could spend the rest of the day or even the week feeling upset, angry, and stressed. You might even snap at your friends or family. Or you could take a deep breath. You could think, okay, I did my best and I learned something from this. You can decide to learn from your mistakes and move on without letting that one grade steal your happiness. That choice helps you keep your inner calm. This isn't something you get overnight. It's like building a strong muscle. The more you practice choosing how you react, the better you get at it. Inner peace is a powerful, quiet space you can build inside yourself. It's a secret strength that lets you stay steady, no matter what happens around you, one thoughtful choice at a time. Have you ever felt a tight knot in your stomach or a sudden chill just before doing something scary? Maybe it was speaking in front of the class, trying out for a team, or even just saying hello to someone new. That feeling is fear, and is a powerful ancient emotion that whispers to us, trying to keep us safe. But sometimes, that whisper can hold us back from amazing things. So, how do we face it? Facing your fears isn't about being completely unafraid. It's about understanding that fear is just a feeling, a message from your brain, and then choosing to act despite it. Think of it like this. Your brain is a guard dog. Its job is to bark when there's danger. Sometimes it barks at a real threat, like a speeding car. But other times, it barks at a leaf blowing by, thinking it's a monster. Facing your fear means gently telling that guard dog, it's okay, I've got this. Ancient thinkers, like the Stoics long ago, understood this. They knew people felt fear and anxiety, just like we do now. They didn't say, don't ever feel afraid. Instead, they taught that bravery wasn't the absence of fear, but the willingness to keep going even when fear is present. They believed your inner strength grew each time you took a step forward, even a tiny one, into what felt scary. Imagine you're standing at the edge of a diving board, high up. Your legs feel like jelly, your heart is pounding, and every part of you screams, don't jump. That's fear. But if you take a deep breath and just step off, that's facing your fear. You might splash. You might feel a rush, but you did it. You showed yourself that you are stronger than the fear. It's not about making fear disappear forever. It's about learning to walk alongside it like an old companion and showing it who's in charge. Each small step, each deep breath, each moment you choose to move forward instead of freezing builds a quiet courage inside you. And that inner courage, that's something truly powerful. Have you ever felt completely lost in something? Like so focused on a video game or a drawing or a song that the whole world outside just faded away? That feeling when your mind isn't jumping around, but really right here, right now? That's what it means to be present. It's simply putting your full attention on this exact moment, not thinking about what happened this morning or what you have to do tomorrow. Just being where your feet are, with your mind fully there too. It sounds easy, but it's actually something really powerful that takes practice. Wise thinkers from a very long time ago, in places like ancient Greece or old Asian cultures, talked a lot about this. They saw that our minds can get pulled in many directions. We worry about what's next, or regret what's past. Philosophers like the Stoics, for example, believed peace came from focusing only on what you can control, which is usually just this very moment. And many Eastern traditions, like some forms of Buddhism, have taught for centuries that being present is the path to real calm and understanding. They didn't have phones or internet, but they still felt their minds scatter. Think about when you're eating your favorite snack. If you just gobble it down while watching television, you might not even truly taste it. But if you slowly take a bite, really notice the texture, the flavor, how it feels in your mouth as being present, it makes the simple act much richer. It's like turning up the volume on life itself. So the old way of being present isn't some forgotten magic trick. It's a reminder from history that slowing down and paying attention right here and now makes life feel more real. It helps us find a quiet strength inside, no matter how busy the world gets. It's about choosing to truly live each moment instead of letting moments just pass you by. And that's why it matters. Have you ever thought about how much you don't know? It's a strange idea, right? We learn so much every day, but the world is vast and there's always more to discover. Here's the thing. That quiet openness to not knowing everything is a big part of what being humble truly means. Being humble simply means knowing your place. It's not thinking you're less important than others, and it's not about putting yourself down. Instead, it's understanding you are one person in a vast, complex world. It means you are willing to learn, to listen deeply, and to admit when you might be wrong. Think about old ideas from history. Many wise people from long ago, like the ancient Greek philosopher Socrates, believed true wisdom began with admitting you knew very little. He famously said, "The only true wisdom is in knowing you know nothing." This idea isn't about being dumb, it's about being profoundly open. It means you stop pretending to have all the answers and start truly searching for them, always ready to find something new. When you're humble, you're like an empty cup, ready to be filled with new insights. Imagine you're trying to learn a new skill, like playing guitar or coding. If you walk into it thinking you already know everything, you won't listen carefully to your teacher. You won't try new ways. You might miss important details. But if you're humble, you listen, you ask smart questions, and you're willing to make mistakes. That's how learning happens. That's how you get better and truly grow. Being humble also makes your relationship stronger. When you can admit you made a mistake to a friend or truly listen to their side of an argument, you build deep trust. It shows you respect them. This works in class too, especially on group projects. If everyone is humble and ready to hear other ideas without trying to be the boss, the project will be much better. So, being humble isn't about being weak or quiet. It's a quiet strength, a gentle way of being open to the world and all the amazing things it can teach you. And that's a beautiful and peaceful way to live. The choice to be happy. Have you ever stopped to think about happiness? Is it something that just happens to you, like winning a game, or something you can actually choose? Can you decide to be happy, no matter what's happening around you? Ancient philosophers wrestled with this idea for ages. They taught that true happiness, or inner peace, wasn't about everything being perfect. Instead, they believed it was mostly about how you react. One famous group, the Stoics, really focused on this. Thinkers like Epictetus and Marcus Aurelius, an emperor, believed we control our thoughts and feelings, even if we can't control outside events. They knew we can't control the weather or what others say. But here's the thing. We can control our own thoughts and how we choose to feel. They taught that unhappiness often comes not from what happens, but from our judgment about it. If you decide something is terrible, you'll feel terrible. But if you choose to see it as a chance to learn, your feelings change. Imagine getting a bad grade on a math test. You could feel miserable for days, or you could pause. You might feel disappointed, but then choose to think, okay, this happened. What can I learn? How can I do better? Same event, but your inner choice completely changes your experience. This isn't about pretending things are fine when they're not. It's about finding a quiet strength inside. It's knowing that even when life gets tough, you have the power to decide how it affects your deepest self. That choice, that quiet strength, is something nobody can ever take away. And that's why it matters. Have you ever wondered why we feel pain? Not just a scraped knee or a stubbed toe, but that deeper ache when something sad or hard happens? Here's the thing, pain and suffering are two different, but connected parts of being human. Pain is often a physical signal. It's like an alarm bell going off in your body. If you touch something hot, your hand pulls away because pain tells you it's dangerous. That's your body trying to keep you safe. Suffering, though, is more about what happens in your mind and heart. It's the sadness, the worry, the feeling of loss that comes when life gets hard. It's how we react to pain or to things we can't control. Ancient thinkers spent a lot of time thinking about this. For example, philosophers in ancient Greece, like the Stoics, believed that while we can't always stop bad things from happening to us, we can control how we think about them. They taught that suffering often comes from our thoughts and feelings about a situation, not just the situation itself. In other words, how you react in your head matters a lot. And in some ancient Eastern ideas, like certain Buddhist teachings, there's the idea that much of our suffering comes from wanting things to be different than they are, or from holding on to things too tightly. Think about a time you tried really hard at something, maybe a school project or a sports game, and it didn't work out. The pain might be the sting of disappointment, that feeling in your stomach. But the suffering could be if you keep replaying it in your head, getting angry at yourself, or telling yourself you're not good enough. If you can instead say, okay, that was tough, I'll learn from it and try again, the suffering gets much smaller. So, here's what I found. Physical pain is often unavoidable. It's a part of life. But the deeper mental suffering can often be shaped by how we choose to think and respond. Understanding this doesn't make tough times easy, but it can help us walk through them with a bit more wisdom. It's about learning to see these feelings, not just be lost in them. Have you ever stopped to wonder, really wonder, why you're here? Or what makes you feel truly alive, truly you? That feeling, that deep question, is at the heart of what philosophers call finding your purpose. It's not about what job you'll have someday, or how much money you'll make. It's bigger than that. Here's the thing. Purpose is like an inner compass. It's that deep sense of why you wake up each day, what gives your life meaning, what you feel you're truly meant to do or contribute to the world. For thousands of years, people have wrestled with this idea. The ancient Greek thinkers, like Aristotle, talked about something they called eudaimonia. It's a tricky word, but it basically means living a life that truly flourishes, a life well lived. They believed every living thing had a purpose, a natural direction. A tree's purpose is to grow, provide shade, and maybe fruit. So they wondered, what is a human being's unique purpose? For them, it wasn't just about being happy all the time, but about developing your best self and contributing to your community. It was about finding what makes you uniquely you and then living according to that truth. This isn't some faraway, complicated idea though. Think about when you're doing something you absolutely love. Maybe playing a sport, creating art, helping a friend with a tough problem, or solving a puzzle. Time seems to disappear, right? You feel fully engaged, like you're exactly where you're supposed to be. That feeling, that sense of flow and rightness is a little whisper from your purpose. It's like a puzzle piece finding its perfect fit. You don't have to find one grand purpose right now. Sometimes, your purpose might be to learn, to grow, or simply to be kind. It's a journey of discovery, a quiet listening to what truly moves your spirit. And that's a beautiful thing to think about. Have you ever noticed how quiet a room can get right before something big happens? Like the silence just before a huge clap of thunder, or the hush in the cafeteria when everyone stops talking at once. It's not just a lack of sound. Sometimes, that silence can feel really strong, almost like it's screaming something without making a noise. So, why can silence sometimes feel louder than any shout? Here's the thing. Loud silence isn't about what you hear. It's about what you feel or understand when there are no distractions. It's the weight of something unsaid, the tension in a quiet room, or the deep peace of being alone with your thoughts. Think about it. When someone you know is upset and they go completely silent, that quietness can be much more impactful than if they yelled. Their silence speaks volumes about their feelings. Many ancient philosophers, thinkers from long ago, understood the power of silence. They believed that true wisdom often comes when you stop talking, stop listening to the noise outside, and instead listen to what's inside your own mind. They found that in quiet moments, you could really think and understand yourself. It was a time for reflection. Imagine you're walking in a forest far from city sounds. At first, it might feel strange or empty, but if you stand still for a few minutes, you start to hear tiny things, the rustle of leaves, a distant bird, your own breath. And then you might notice how calm you feel. This silence isn't empty. It's full of small sounds and big thoughts. It gives you space to just be. So, silence isn't just quiet. It's a powerful space. It can hold big emotions, hidden truths, or even moments of deep peace. When the world gets too noisy, finding silence can help you hear important things lost in the rush. It helps you connect with your inner self, where deep understanding truly begins. Have you ever felt like you had to hide something about yourself? Like showing how you truly feel, or admitting you don't know something? would somehow make you seem weak. It's a common thought, but here's the thing. Real strength often comes from being vulnerable. It means being brave enough to show your true self, even the parts that feel a little shaky or imperfect. It's admitting when you're scared, when you need help, or when you've made a mistake. For a long time, many people thought being strong meant never showing any cracks. But some of the oldest ideas about wisdom actually hint at something different. Thinkers like Socrates, an ancient Greek philosopher, believed that true wisdom wasn't about knowing everything. Instead, it was about knowing what you didn't know. And that takes a kind of courage, right? To admit you don't have all the answers. This idea suggests that accepting your limits, which is a form of vulnerability, is actually the first step to growing and learning more. It's kind of like how your muscles get stronger. When you lift weights or exercise, your muscles experience tiny tears. That sounds bad, like a weakness, right? But those small injuries are actually part of the process. Your body then repairs those muscles, making them thicker and more powerful than before. The moment of being pushed to your limit, of feeling that strain, is a form of vulnerability for your body. But it leads to real, lasting strength. So here's what it means for you. When you share a fear with a friend, ask a teacher for help, or even just admit to yourself that something is hard, you're not being weak. You're actually opening yourself up to growth, to connection, and to understanding yourself better. Showing your true self, with all its worries and doubts, is one of the bravest things you can do. And that's why it matters. It's where real power and true connection truly begin to grow. Have you ever felt that little twist in your stomach looking back, wishing you'd done something differently? Or said something you didn't? That heavy feeling, that ache for a do-over, that's regret. So, how do we live to lessen those what-ifs haunting our future? It's not about being perfect. No one is. It's about living right now, with an honest heart. Make choices true to who you are, even if it's a little scary. Ancient thinkers like the Stoics taught that much unhappiness comes from trying to control things we can't, like the past. They urged us to focus on what we can control, our actions and how we react. Their advice: put your energy there. Think about moments you might regret, like when you wanted to join a club but fear whispered, "What if you're not good enough?" You hesitated. Later, you might wonder, "What if I had just signed up?" Regret often comes from inaction. To live with fewer regrets means stepping into your own life bravely. Choose kindness. Speak your truth. Try new things. The experience itself is a gift. Show up fully for the life you are living. Choosing this path builds a strong foundation. Mistakes will happen. Everyone makes them. But these won't be heavy burdens of "what if I had only." Instead, they become valuable lessons. You find peace, knowing you lived each day with authenticity and courage. That's a beautiful way to exist. Have you ever felt a quiet tug inside you? A feeling that something new is waiting, just beyond what you know. It's like a soft whisper telling you to explore, to try something different, even if it feels a little scary. This feeling, this deep urge to step out of your usual routine, is what we call the call to adventure. It's not about jumping off cliffs unless that's your thing. Here's the thing. It's that pull to grow, to learn, to face something unknown. Think about heroes from old stories like Odysseus. He left his home to face monsters and find new lands. Or think about Siddhartha Gautama, who became Buddha. He left his comfortable life not to fight dragons, but to understand suffering and find peace. For thousands of years, people have felt this call. It's a part of our very nature, a feeling that pushes us to explore not just the world, but also ourselves. This idea isn't just in old myths. It's something smart people like Joseph Campbell have talked about for a long time. He studied stories from all over the world. He noticed this pattern and called it the hero's journey. It's a path many characters take in stories, and it happens in real life too. Imagine learning a new instrument, and it feels really hard at first. That feeling of wanting to give up, but also the urge to keep trying to master it, that's a small call to adventure. It's an inner journey where you push past what's easy to gain a new skill. Or maybe it's trying out for the school play, even if you're shy. That step into the unknown, that's it. So this ancient call isn't always about big trips to faraway places. Most times it's a quiet invitation to grow, to face a small challenge, or to understand something new about yourself. It's the feeling that there's always more to learn, more to experience, right where you are or just a little bit further. It's a gentle reminder that life is full of chances to become more of who you are. This inner whisper has been with people forever, guiding us one small step at a time toward knowing ourselves better. Have you ever thought about why we keep learning, even when school is over for the day or for the year? It's a bit like asking why a river keeps flowing. The truth is, learning isn't just something you do in a classroom. It's a deep, quiet current that runs through all of life, pulling us forward, helping us understand the world and ourselves a little better each day. To learn is to grow, to see things with new eyes. It means opening your mind to ideas you hadn't considered before and letting them change how you think or feel. It's not just about memorizing facts or getting good grades. It's about becoming more, becoming wiser, becoming more connected to everything around you. Ancient thinkers, like those in old Greece, understood this very well. They believed that seeking wisdom, asking questions, and always trying to understand was the most important journey a person could take. For them, life itself was a school, and every experience, every conversation was a chance to learn something new. Think about learning to ride a bike. At first, it feels impossible, right? You wobble, you fall, you might get a scrape, but you keep trying. You learn to balance, you learn to pedal, you learn to steer without even thinking about it. You don't finish learning to ride a bike, you just get better, smoother, more confident. And maybe one day you learn how to ride a mountain bike or a unicycle, which builds on that first skill. Life is like that. You learn one thing and it helps you understand the next. This continuous learning isn't a chore, it's a gift. It keeps our minds alive, curious, and open. It means we never truly stop exploring, never stop discovering new parts of the world or new strengths within ourselves. When we learn, we connect dots that we didn't even know were there before, making the world seem richer and full of more possibilities. It's a gentle journey, and it's one that never really ends. Have you ever noticed how everything seems to come back around? Think about the seasons. Spring, summer, fall, winter, then spring again. Or the moon, it changes, but always returns to its full circle. This idea that life moves in repeating patterns, not just a straight line, is what we call the cycle of life. It's an ancient thought, deeply explored by philosophers around the world. For early thinkers, especially in ancient Greece or places like India and China, nature was their main teacher. They watched plants grow from seeds, bloom, wither, then drop new seeds to start again. They saw the sun rise and set, tides come in and go out. This made them wonder if human life in the universe followed similar patterns. They believed that just like day follows night or winter leads to spring, there's a constant flow of beginnings, endings, and new beginnings. It's about movement and transformation, not being stuck. And here's the thing. This isn't just an old idea. You see it in your own life. Think about learning a new skill, like playing an instrument. You start, struggle, get better, maybe hit a wall, but you keep practicing and you improve. You might even feel like you're going backwards sometimes, but then something clicks and you move forward. It's a cycle of practice, challenge, and mastery. Even your body is always renewing itself, old cells dying and new ones forming. So, this ancient wisdom tells us that endings are often just new beginnings in disguise. It reminds us that change is natural, and even when things feel over, something new is always coming. It's comforting to know that every sunset promises a sunrise, and every end holds the seed of a fresh start. It helps us feel connected to the big, beautiful rhythm of the world. Have you ever done something truly good and nobody saw it? Maybe you picked up trash, even if no one was watching. Or you helped a friend who was struggling, and you didn't tell anyone later. This idea of being good, even when hidden, gets to the core of who you are. It's about your true character, not just what you show. When you act kindly or honestly without applause or a thank you, your real values shine. You do it not for a reward, but because it feels right. That's true goodness. Ancient thinkers like the Greek philosopher Aristotle thought deeply about this. He believed true goodness isn't about looking good to others. It's about building good habits and making good choices over and over. This makes it part of you. The Stoics, another group of old philosophers, talked about an inner fortressa, strong moral compass. They felt real happiness comes from acting with virtue, even if no one notices. It's about your inner sense of right and wrong guiding you. Think about a scientist working late in a lab. They're carefully checking their data even after everyone else has gone home. No one is there to praise them, but they do it because accuracy and honesty are key to finding truth. That's being good when no one sees. It's a quiet commitment to doing things the right way for its own sake. Why does this quiet goodness matter so much? It builds you from the inside out. When you choose to be kind, honest, or responsible without an audience, you are not just doing good things. You are becoming a good person. You are shaping who you are quietly. It's a gentle strength that stays with you. It's a deep peace from knowing you acted according to your best self, purely and honestly, just because it was the right thing to do. And that's a powerful feeling. Have you ever felt like you knew the right thing to do, but something deep inside pushed you to do the opposite? Maybe you wanted to stay calm, but a sudden flash of anger made you say something you later regretted. Or you knew you should study, but your phone just pulled you away. This quiet struggle, this internal tug-of-war, is where we meet the powerful idea of self-control. What is self-control really? It's simply being the one who decides what you do, rather than letting sudden urges or strong feelings make choices for you. It means choosing your actions and your reactions, even when your emotions are loud. Think of it like this. Your mind has different voices. One voice might want instant fun, like eating all the cookies right now. But another voice, the one that plans and thinks ahead, knows that too many cookies might make you feel sick later. Self-control is when that thoughtful voice wins. It's about making a choice that serves your long-term well-being, not just a quick desire. Now, this idea isn't new at all. Ancient thinkers like the Stoic philosophers in Greece and Rome talked about self-control constantly. For them, it wasn't just a good idea. It was one of the most important skills. They believed that true freedom wasn't about being able to do anything you wanted. Instead, they taught that real freedom came from being free from your own wild emotions and sudden impulses. They understood that while you can't control what life throws at you, like unexpected challenges, you can always choose how you respond to it. Imagine you're trying to save money for something big, like a new game console. Every day you see things you could buy right now, a cool snack, a trendy new shirt. Your immediate desire might scream, buy it. But your self-control helps you remember your bigger goal. It helps you say no to the small, instant pleasure, so you can reach the larger, more meaningful one. That quiet strength, that gentle decision to wait and work towards something important is exactly what self-control feels like. It's a steady hand guiding your own ship. And that's why it matters, because it helps you truly steer your own life instead of just floating wherever the current takes you. It lets you build the life you really want. Have you ever just sat quietly outside, maybe under a big tree or near a gentle stream? If you have, you might have felt a kind of peace wash over you. It's almost like nature is speaking to you without words. And here's the thing. For thousands of years, people have looked to the natural world as a great teacher. Nature isn't just about pretty flowers or cool animals. It's a never-ending lesson in how things work. Think about it. A tiny seed pushes through hard ground to become a strong plant. A river always finds a path, even around big rocks. These aren't just things happening. They are powerful examples of strength, patience, and finding a way. Many ancient thinkers, people like the Stoics in ancient Greece, believed that living in harmony with nature was key to a good life. They saw that nature follows patterns, it changes with the seasons, and it adapts. They thought if we could learn to be like that, accepting change, being patient, finding our flow, we'd be much happier. They called it living according to nature, which just meant understanding the natural order of things and fitting into it instead of fighting it. Consider a simple tree in winter. It looks bare and lifeless, right? But it's not dead. It's just resting, saving energy. And when spring comes, tiny green buds appear, then leaves, then flowers, maybe even fruit. It's a perfect example of how life includes cycles of rest, loss, and then new beginnings. You see this pattern everywhere, in our own lives too. We have tough times, but those can lead to growth, just like the tree waiting for spring. So, being in nature, truly observing it, can remind us of bigger truths. It helps us feel connected to something much larger than ourselves. It teaches us patience, how to let go, and how to believe in new starts. And that's why it matters. It helps us understand our place in this big, beautiful world. Have you ever really thought about what it means to be free? We often picture freedom as doing whatever we want, with no rules or limits, like a long summer day with nothing to do but what you choose. We think of being free to go where we want, say what we want, or pick our own classes. But what if real freedom isn't just about what you can do on the outside? What if it's also about what's happening inside you? Thousands of years ago, wise people in ancient Greece and Rome, like a group called the Stoics, spent a lot of time thinking about this. They realized something important. They said that while we can't always control what happens to us, like bad weather or someone being unfair, we can always control how we respond to it. This is a big idea, and here's why it matters. Imagine you're walking and you trip. You can't control the fall, but you can choose if you get really upset and stay down, or if you laugh it off, get back up, and keep going. That choice, that power over your own reaction, is a kind of freedom. It's about being free from things like overwhelming anger, crushing fear, or deep sadness that can hold you back, even when nothing else is physically stopping you. It's like having a calm center inside you, no matter what storms are happening outside. This can help you in your daily life. When a test is really hard, or a friend says something that bothers you, you have the power to choose how much those things affect your peace of mind. This ancient wisdom teaches us that the greatest freedom isn't found in a place without walls, but in a mind without chains. It's the quiet strength to be yourself, no matter what, and to find peace even when things are tough. And that's the kind of freedom that stays with you, always. What if the answers to our biggest questions about happiness, or what truly matters, were already figured out thousands of years ago? The old path to wisdom describes a journey. It's about how people long ago, before books or the internet, tried to understand their world and themselves. They didn't have science labs, but they used their minds, observations, and experiences. They thought deeply about life, death, fairness, and what it means to be good. This wasn't just about getting smart, it was about living well. Think about ancient Greece, with thinkers like Socrates, Plato, and Aristotle, or ancient China with Confucius and Lao Tzu. Even in ancient India, wise people explored deep truths. They all had different ideas, but many shared a goal: finding a good way to live, a path to inner peace and understanding. They created systems of thought, like Stoicism, Confucianism, or Buddhism. These weren't just theories. They were practical guides, teaching patience, courage, and how to handle tough times. Here's an example. Imagine you're stressed about a big test or something unfair. An ancient Stoic philosopher might tell you, you can't control what happens, but you can control how you react. This isn't just a saying. It's a way of thinking that helps you focus on what's in your power, not what isn't. It's like steering your own ship even when waves are rough, not getting tossed around by every little thing. So, the old path to wisdom isn't just dusty history. It's a living roadmap. It shows that many struggles and questions we have today are the same ones humans have faced forever. Sometimes, the oldest ideas are the most helpful, guiding us toward a thoughtful, peaceful way of being. It's like finding a hidden treasure map drawn centuries ago, but it still leads to something truly valuable today. Have you ever felt that strange pull when things begin to shift? That little jolt when something you thought would always be there suddenly changes? Handling change gracefully means learning to ride those waves instead of fighting them. It's like bending a reed in the wind, not snapping a stiff branch. When things change around us, a new school, different friends, or even our own feelings, it can feel scary. But handling it gracefully means finding a calm strength inside. It means accepting what's happening and figuring out how to move with it. Ancient thinkers knew this was important. Long ago, a Greek philosopher named Heraclitus famously said, "The only constant is change." He meant everything is always moving, always becoming new. It's like a river. You can't step into the same river twice, because new water is always flowing by. Other wise people, like the Stoics, talked about focusing only on what you can control. You can't stop the river, but you can control how you react to it. Think about learning to ride a bike. At first, it's wobbly and hard. You might fall, but you don't give up. You adjust, you learn to steer, and you get better. The change from walking to cycling is big, but you adapt. Or consider the seasons. Summer changes to fall, trees let go of leaves, winter comes. Nature handles it perfectly, getting ready for what's next. We can learn from that. So, When change comes, and it will, remember the river, remember the seasons. You don't have to control the change itself, but you can choose how you meet it. You can choose to find your balance, to breathe, and to trust that even in newness, there's a path forward. It's about finding peace in the flow, knowing that sometimes letting go is the strongest thing you can do. In that letting go, you find a quiet strength that carries you through. Have you ever stopped to wonder what a truly fair world might feel like? Not just a moment of fairness, but a whole way of life where things just felt right for everyone, all the time. What would a community look like if fairness wasn't just an idea, but how life actually worked for every single person? This deep question is what we mean when we talk about the idea of a just society. At its heart, it's about a community where people are treated fairly, where everyone gets a real chance to do well, and where no one is forgotten or left behind. It's about making sure basic needs are met and opportunities are open to all, no matter who they are or where they come from. This isn't a new idea. Humans have been thinking about this for thousands of years. Way back in ancient Greece, a famous thinker named Plato wrote about what a perfect, just city would look like. He imagined a place where each person did what they were best at, and everyone worked together for the common good. He asked big questions like, how do we make sure leaders are wise? How do we treat those who are different? What rules lead to a truly good life for everyone? Other thinkers since then, from many different cultures, have picked up these same questions, each trying to figure out their own answers. Think about a sports team. If the coach only ever praises the star player and ignores everyone else's hard work, that doesn't feel fair, does it? Or if some players get to play all the time and others never get a chance even if they practice just as hard. A just team means everyone feels valued, everyone gets a chance to contribute, and the rules apply to everyone equally. It's about balance and respect for each person's role. A just society is like that, but on a much, much bigger scale. It's not just about laws. It's about the feelings we have for each other, the empathy we share. It's about understanding that other people's struggles matter just as much as our own. It's a powerful dream, this idea of a truly fair world. And that's why it matters. Because when we strive for fairness, we build something stronger, something that lifts everyone up. It's about creating a world where every single person can truly belong and flourish. And that's a beautiful thought, isn't it? Have you ever felt that little tug, that quiet whisper inside, telling you to just say what's true, even when it feels like the hardest thing to do? Maybe you didn't study for a test and pretended you were sick, or you accidentally broke something and thought about blaming your sibling. It's a common feeling, that urge to avoid discomfort by bending the truth a little. And that's because, well, being honest can be really hard. Why is it so tough? Sometimes telling the truth means facing consequences. It might mean admitting a mistake, hurting someone's feelings by speaking frankly, or feeling exposed. We want to be liked, to fit in, and sometimes honesty feels like it could mess all that up. It can feel like taking a brave leap into the unknown, not knowing how you'll land. But here's the thing, while it's hard, honesty is also incredibly good. Think of it like this. Your mind is a clear window. When you tell a lie, it's like throwing a small smudge onto that window. One smudge isn't much. But if you keep adding lies, big or small, your window gets cloudier and cloudier. Soon, you can't see clearly, and neither can anyone else see clearly into you. Ancient thinkers from different parts of the world often talked about truth as a central part of living a good life. They believed that a truly wise person faced reality head-on, no matter how difficult. They saw truth not as an option, but as a foundation for strength and peace. When you choose honesty, you are cleaning your window. You might feel a sting at first, like when you admit you didn't do your chores, but that sting passes quickly, and what's left? A clear view. You build trust with others, yes, but more importantly, you build trust with yourself. You learn that you can handle tough situations, that you are strong enough to face reality. That inner strength, that feeling of being true to yourself, is a calm, deep kind of peace. It means you're not carrying any hidden weight, and that peace is a gift you give yourself every single time you choose to be real. Have you ever looked at something old, maybe a chipped mug or a worn-out book, and felt a quiet kind of warmth? We often try to make things perfect, or we wish we were perfect. But what if real beauty isn't about being flawless at all? Finding beauty in imperfection is about seeing charm and value in things that are broken, incomplete, or a little rough. It's understanding that a crack isn't always a flaw, but sometimes a mark of history, part of its story. It means accepting things, and even people just as they are, without trying to fix them. This idea isn't new. In Japan, there's a way of looking at the world called wabi-sabi. It's about finding beauty in simple, humble things, worn down by time. Think about an old pottery bowl with uneven sides, or a garden stone covered in moss. Wabi-sabi teaches us to appreciate the gentle marks of age and use. It helps us see beauty in something natural, even if it's not smooth or new. It celebrates how things change. Imagine your favorite old t-shirt. It might have a small faded spot or a tiny hole, but it's still your go-to shirt. Why? Because it's comfortable, reminds you of good times, and those small imperfections make it yours. Or think about an old tree in a park. Its twisted branches and rough bark make it special. They tell a story of the winds it has faced, the seasons it has lived through. So here's the thing, trying to be perfect can be tiring. But when we learn to see the beauty in things that aren't perfect, like a crack in a sidewalk or a slightly crooked smile, we start to see the world and ourselves with kinder eyes. It teaches us to be more accepting and understanding, and that brings a lot of calm. It's about finding peace in the way things truly are, celebrating the unique journey of everything, including our own. What happens when things don't go your way and you truly can't change them? We all face moments like this. Maybe you studied hard for a test and the grade wasn't what you hoped, or a friend makes a choice you don't understand. In these times, we often feel frustrated or upset, wishing things were different. This is where the ancient idea of acceptance comes in. It's not about giving up, and it's certainly not about saying you like something bad or letting people walk all over you. Instead, acceptance is about seeing what is true in this moment. Even if that truth feels hard, it's about letting go of the fight to change something that is simply beyond your control. Think about the wise philosophers of ancient Greece and Rome, like the Stoics. They spent a lot of time thinking about what makes a good life. And one of their big lessons was to understand the difference between what we can control and what we cannot. We can control our own thoughts, our reactions, our efforts, but we cannot control the past, other people's decisions, or the weather. They taught that true peace comes from accepting what we cannot change and then focusing our energy on what we can influence. So imagine you plan to play outside with friends and then it starts to pour rain. You could get really mad, yell at the sky, and just sit there feeling sorry for yourself. But that wouldn't stop the rain. Or you could accept that it's raining and then think, okay, the outdoor plan is out. What can I do now? Maybe you play a board game, read a book, or help with a chore. This isn't settling. It's choosing peace and moving forward. It's a powerful kind of freedom. When we accept what is, we stop wasting energy on what isn't. This quiet shift in our minds helps us find calmness. Even when things feel messy, it helps us feel strong, not because we're forcing things, but because we've chosen a path of understanding. And that's a deep kind of peace, a steady place inside yourself, no matter what storms are outside. It truly helps you control how you feel, even when the world feels out of control. Have you ever stopped to wonder if the small, quiet thoughts inside your head do more than just stay there? What if they're not just private whispers, but actual forces that shape your day, your feelings, and even the world you experience? Here's the thing. Ancient wisdom from thinkers across the globe explored this idea for thousands of years. They believed our inner world, what we think and feel, is deeply connected to the outer world we live in. Many saw one as helping to create the other. Think about it this way. What your mind focuses on, whether good or challenging, tends to grow. For example, if you constantly believe you're not good at something, like playing a sport or understanding a tough subject, you might not put in your full effort. And if you don't really try, you might not get better. Your first thought, I'm not good enough, starts to become real. Your mind built a wall before you even started. But here's what happens if you change that thought. Imagine believing, I can learn this. It might be hard, but I'll keep trying. You suddenly face the challenge with more energy. You're more likely to ask for help, practice longer, and stick with it. Ancient philosophers, like those in Greece, discussed how our ideas and beliefs affect how we see reality. They suggested our minds are not just passive viewers, but active builders, constantly shaping what is real for us. This means your thoughts are truly the quiet architects of your daily life, making your experience what it is. Have you ever seen someone sad, maybe a friend, and just felt it with them? Not just knowing they're sad, but actually feeling a little bit of that heaviness in your own chest? That deep, quiet connection is what we call empathy. It's more than just sympathy, which is feeling for someone. Empathy means feeling with someone. It's like stepping into their shoes and seeing the world through their eyes, even if just for a moment. This idea isn't new. Ancient thinkers across the world recognized its power. In ancient Greece, philosophers like Aristotle talked about understanding others' emotions. Eastern philosophies, like Buddhism, also centered on compassion and fellow feeling. They taught that true wisdom comes from understanding the suffering of others and wanting to help. So, this old wisdom has guided people for thousands of years, helping them live better lives together. Think about watching a movie. When the main character is scared, your heart might race. When they're happy, you might grin. You're not the character, but you're feeling what they're feeling. Your brain is wired to do this, to mirror what you see in others. Scientists call these mirror neurons. It's how we learn to understand each other without words. It helps us build friendships and solve problems together. Empathy helps us see beyond ourselves. It reminds us every person has a story, a world of feelings just like ours. When we truly try to understand someone else, even if they're different, we open a door to connection. And that connection, that shared human feeling, is a quiet but powerful force. It has always made our world more understanding, more kind. It's a wisdom that whispers across centuries, telling us to simply see each other, truly see. Have you ever had a quiet feeling deep inside you? A gentle nudge that told you something was true, even when others thought differently? Maybe it was about a decision you needed to make, or a path you felt you should take. That feeling, that quiet knowing, is what we mean when we talk about trusting yourself. It's not about being stubborn or thinking you're always right. It's about listening to your own inner voice, that calm wisdom inside you that often knows what's best for you. For thousands of years, wise people have talked about this. Ancient thinkers like the Greek philosopher Socrates famously said, "Know thyself." He believed that the most important knowledge wasn't about the outside world, but about understanding your own mind and heart. Many old philosophies teach us that we each have a kind of inner compass. This compass points you toward what feels right and true for your own journey, even if it's different from what everyone else is doing. Think about it like this. Imagine you're building something complex with Legos, following instructions. But then you have a sudden idea, a creative spark that tells you to try a different piece or connect two parts in a new way. If you ignore that inner spark, you might miss out on something awesome. But if you trust it and try, you might create something even better and more unique. That inner spark is your intuition, your inner self trying to guide you. It's like your brain running calculations based on everything you've learned and felt, then quietly sending you the best option. Trusting yourself builds a quiet strength within you. It helps you stand firm when things get tough or confusing. It means valuing your own thoughts and feelings, knowing that they have a purpose. And that's why it matters so much. Because when you learn to listen to that inner guide, you start to navigate your own life with more courage and peace. Have you ever stopped to think about what makes someone truly good? Not just kind or smart, but someone whose actions always point towards what's right, what's strong inside them. This inner strength is what ancient thinkers called virtue. It's a big word, but it simply means having excellent character qualities. Think of it as a good habit. It's not just knowing what's right. It's actually doing it consistently, like being honest even when it's hard, or showing courage when you're scared. These aren't just random acts. They become part of who you are. For thousands of years, people like the ancient Greek philosophers, Plato and Aristotle, thought a lot about this. They believed virtue wasn't something you were born with. Instead, it was like a skill you practice. Imagine learning an instrument or getting good at a sport. You don't just wake up a great player, you practice, you make mistakes, you keep going, and that's how your character gets strong too. Think about building a sturdy treehouse. You don't just throw wood together. You need strong beams and good nails. Each time you pick the right piece of wood, Each nail you hammer in straight, you're building it stronger. Virtue is like those good choices. Each act of patience, each moment of kindness, each time you tell the truth, it's like adding another strong beam to your inner self. You're building a character that can stand firm, no matter what storms come. So, virtue isn't just an old idea. It's about how we live every day. It's about the choices we make, big and small, that shape who we are. When we choose virtue, we're not just making ourselves better. We're also quietly making the path a little clearer for everyone around us. It's a quiet strength, a way to live with purpose and peace. Have you ever had a day where everything just clicked? Where your thoughts felt clear, your body felt good, and the world seemed to make sense? That feeling, that deep sense of things fitting together, is a little like living in harmony. It's about finding a calm balance inside yourself and with everything around you. But what does harmony really mean when we talk about life? Think of it like a really great song. All the different instruments, the drums, the guitars, the voices, they don't fight each other. Instead, they blend and support each other, creating something beautiful. Living in harmony is when your different parts, your mind, your body, your feelings work together like that. And it's also about how you fit in with your friends, your family, your community, and even nature itself. It's about being connected in a smooth, peaceful way. This idea isn't new. Ancient thinkers wrestled with it for thousands of years. In ancient China, for example, philosophers talked a lot about the Tao, a natural flow of the universe. They believed that humans could find peace by letting go and living in tune with this natural way, just like a river flows downhill without forcing it. They saw balance everywhere, like the yin and yang, two opposites that actually complete each other. Over in ancient Greece, wise people like Plato and Aristotle also thought about inner harmony. They believed that when your reason, your spirit, and your desires were all balanced, you could live a truly good and happy life. It was about finding your own inner peace and letting it guide your actions. Here's the thing, you can see this idea even in your everyday life. Imagine you're working on a group project for school. If everyone argues and tries to do their own thing, it's messy and stressful. But if you all listen, share ideas, and help each other out, the project flows and the result is much better. That's harmony in action. When you feel peaceful inside and you're able to connect kindly with others, it feels good. It makes life less stressful and more meaningful. It's not about being perfect, but about seeking that calm connection one step at a time. It's a journey toward a quiet strength. Have you ever known someone who talked a big game, someone who made grand promises or said all the right things, but then their actions told a completely different story? It's a feeling we all know. That quiet moment when you realize what someone does matters so much more than what they say. This idea that actions speak louder than words is more than just a common saying. It's a deep truth that ancient thinkers explored. Here's the thing, our actions are like a mirror. They show who we truly are, even when our words try to paint a different picture. Words are easy to change, easy to speak without much thought, but actions require effort, commitment, and choice. They are the physical proof of our intentions and beliefs. Think about it. When someone says they care about you, that's nice. But when they show up for you, when they help you without being asked, that's what truly makes you feel cared for. This wisdom isn't new. Ancient Greek philosophers like Aristotle spent time thinking about how our habits and our actions shape our character. He believed that we become who we are by what we repeatedly do, not just by what we think or say. And in ancient China, thinkers like Confucius stressed the importance of righteous conduct and setting a good example through actions, not just through eloquent speeches. Imagine you have a friend who always says they'll help you study, but then they never show up or they're always too busy. And then you have another friend who doesn't say much about helping, but they quietly share their notes or they offer to explain a difficult problem without being asked. Which friend do you trust more? Which one actually feels like a true help? It's the one whose actions match their true spirit. So, when we look at our own lives and the lives of others, remember to pay attention to the quiet language of actions. It's a language that speaks volumes, showing us the real heart of a person and the true path they are walking. It's in our deeds, not just our declarations, that our deepest truths are found. Have you ever felt that quiet tug inside, telling you not to do something, even when everyone else was? Or when someone asked for something and your first thought was no, but the word got stuck? This struggle reveals a deep, ancient wisdom: the courage to say no. Here's the thing: saying no isn't just refusing. It's about drawing a line. It's about protecting your time, your energy, and your true self. It's about knowing what you value and honoring that, even when it's hard. Imagine a glass filled to the brim. If you keep pouring more water, it overflows. Your time and energy are like that glass. Saying no to some things lets you make room for what truly matters. Ancient philosophers like the Stoics talked about what was in our control and what wasn't. They believed our inner world, our thoughts, choices, reactions, was completely ours. Saying no to outside pressures, to things that pull us from our values, is a powerful way to control that inner world. It's a way of saying, this is who I am, this is what I stand for. Think of a painter with only so much paint. They can't paint every idea. They choose which images are most important for the canvas. Every yes you give means you're saying no to something else. And every no you say to what doesn't fit helps you say a bigger, more meaningful yes to what truly does. So, when that quiet voice tells you no, listen, it's not about being rude. It's about honoring your boundaries, your peace. It's about building a strong inner foundation, one brave no at a time. Because true courage isn't always a roar. Sometimes it's just a calm, clear no. Have you ever stopped to wonder why some ideas just stick around, like a quiet echo, heard across centuries? It's easy to think of ancient wisdom as dusty scrolls in a museum, far removed from our TikTok feeds and video games. But here's the thing. Those old ways of thinking, those ancient rules for living, they are still very much alive, shaping your world right now. Think of it like this. Humanity has always faced big questions. How do we live a good life? What is fair? How should we treat each other? Thousands of years ago, thinkers in places like ancient Greece, Rome, India, and China searched for answers. Philosophers like Aristotle pondered what makes a happy person. Stoics taught how to stay calm when things are tough. Confucius showed the importance of family and respect. Their ideas weren't just theories. They were maps for living, passed down through generations. So, how do these ancient rules still work? Imagine you're playing a team sport, and someone on your team cheats even when the ref isn't looking. You feel a pang of unfairness, right? That feeling, that gut sense of what's right or wrong, is deeply connected to ancient Greek ideas of justice. Or consider when you choose to study for a test instead of playing video games, even though it's hard. That decision involves self-discipline, an idea many ancient philosophers believed helped them live a good life. It's not about memorizing their names, but noticing how their thoughts became woven into the very fabric of how we think and act. It's like they built the hidden foundations of our minds. We inherit their insights without even realizing it. Understanding these deep currents from the past can help us see ourselves more clearly, making sense of the everyday feelings and decisions that guide our lives. It's a quiet connection to a timeless human journey. Have you ever found yourself wishing time would just hurry up? Maybe you're waiting for a special event or for something difficult to pass. But what if waiting isn't just about wishing, but about finding a hidden strength? Patience isn't just about sitting around. It's about understanding that truly great things need time to grow. You can't force a flower to bloom by pulling on its petals. You can't rush the sunrise. True patience is a quiet knowing that everything has its own rhythm and needs its own time. Ancient thinkers like the wise Stoics in Greece or philosophers in old China deeply understood this. They watched nature. They saw how a tiny acorn slowly becomes a mighty oak, not in a day, but over many years. They understood that wisdom isn't something you just get instantly. It builds up slowly, like layers of earth, with each experience adding to it. They believed that when you learn to wait, you learn to see more deeply. You notice the small changes and appreciate the whole journey. Think about it like planting a tiny seed. You put it in the soil, give it water and sun, and then you wait. You don't dig it up every day to check if it's growing. You trust the process. Slowly, that tiny seed pushes through the earth, sprouts, leaves, and eventually, if you're patient, it becomes a beautiful plant. That calm waiting, that trust, is the power of patience. So, when we choose to be patient, we're not just passing time. We're giving ourselves space to grow and to see the world with a calm heart. And that's a power that truly lasts. It teaches us that some of the best things in life aren't rushed, but are gifts of time quietly unfolding. Have you ever thought about what really makes you you? Is it your phone, your cool sneakers, or that video game console you love? Here's the thing. Ancient philosophers way back in time had a big idea. They taught that you are much more than the stuff you own. Your favorite shirt might be important to you, but it's not actually you. This idea means that your true value, your real self, doesn't come from things you can buy or touch. It comes from inside. Thinkers like the Stoics in ancient Greece, and even wise people in ancient India, talked about this. They saw that people often get too attached to their belongings. They believe that when you understand your worth isn't tied to your possessions, you become freer. You aren't afraid of losing things. You learn to appreciate what really matters. This wasn't about being poor, it was about being rich in spirit. So, how does this work? Think about your own body. Every few years, almost all the cells in your body are replaced. The skin cells you have today will be different next month. The cells in your bones will change over time. But you're still you, right? Your memories, your personality, your dreams, they don't get replaced. They stay. That's a bit like your stuff. The physical items change or break, but who you are inside stays whole. Your kindness, your smarts, your ability to laugh, those are permanent. This can help you see yourself differently. It reminds us that our true richness isn't found in a closet full of clothes or the newest gadget. It's found in the experiences we have, the lessons we learn, and the love we share with others. It's about being a good friend, being curious, and finding joy in simple things. Your real self is a collection of thoughts, feelings, and actions. And that's why it matters, because those things can never be bought or lost. Have you ever found yourself in a conversation where ideas truly clicked, even if you started on different pages? Or perhaps you felt the quiet power of really listening to someone and then clearly sharing your own thoughts in return? Here's the thing. An argument in its truest, oldest form isn't about yelling or trying to win a fight. Instead, it's a beautiful, thoughtful way that humans have always explored ideas, a quiet dance of minds moving towards deeper understanding. Think of it like this. It's not about knocking someone else's thoughts down. It's about building something new together. When we talk about the art of argument, we're looking back to ancient times, especially in places like Greece. Thinkers like Socrates, thousands of years ago, spent their lives asking tough questions. They believed that by discussing, by questioning, by offering reasons and listening closely to others, people could find truth. It was a journey, a shared adventure of the mind, not a battle. For them, a good argument was about finding better ideas, not just proving yourself right. So, how does this work in your life? Imagine you and a friend are planning a class project. You each have different ideas on how to start. Instead of just saying, "My idea is better," over and over, you explain why your approach makes sense. Your friend listens, then explains their reasons. You ask questions, they ask questions. You might even find a brand new, better idea that combines both of your thoughts. That careful sharing of reasons, that patient listening, that's the old art of argument at play. This ancient practice, this quiet sharing of thoughts, still helps us today. It's a powerful tool for sorting through all the ideas that swirl around us, even those ancient philosophies that have shaped the world. It teaches us to be patient, to truly hear others, and to think deeply about what we believe and why. It helps us grow, not just our minds, but our understanding of each other. Have you ever paused to think about how much of your life is truly yours to shape? We often feel things just happen to us. But what about the part we play? Here's a powerful ancient idea: personal responsibility. Simply put, personal responsibility means understanding you are in charge of your own choices, actions, and how you respond to life. Your choices, words, and even silence create ripples. It's not about blaming yourself for things outside your control, but owning the parts within your reach. Ancient Greek philosophers, like the Stoics, spoke about this often. They believed you can't control all events, like the weather or your family, but you can control your reaction. They taught that your inner world, your thoughts, feelings, and decisions is your true kingdom. This idea offers immense power because no one can take that from you. Think of learning to ride a bike. If you fall, You don't blame the bike or the ground. You realize you need to adjust, try again, and push harder. You take responsibility for your own effort. It's like with school or friends. If a project is tough, taking responsibility means planning time and asking for help, not just saying it's too hard. So this isn't about carrying the world's weight. It's about seeing your own power. When you choose personal responsibility, you're not just tossed around by life's waves. You get to steer your own ship even if seas are rough. It means realizing your future is a story you write. One choice, one action, one honest effort at a time. It builds inner strength, knowing you have a say in who you become. Have you ever thought about the difference between having fun and being truly, deeply happy? It's a big question. We often chase after fun, the quick laugh, the exciting game, the thrill of something new. Fun is bright and exciting, like fireworks. It bursts with color and sound, grabs your attention for a moment, and then it's gone. It's intense, but often fleeting. But here's the thing. True happiness is more like a quiet, warm fire. It doesn't flicker wildly, it glows steadily. It makes you feel safe and content deep inside. It's not about being super excited all the time. It's a lasting peace, a calm joy that stays with you. For thousands of years, thinkers wondered about this. Ancient Greek philosophers like Aristotle talked about eudaimonia. Don't worry about the big word. It simply means living a good life, a life where you truly do well. They believed true happiness wasn't just about feeling good right now. It was about living wisely, doing good things, and finding purpose that built inner peace over time. Think about it. Getting a high score in a video game is fun, right? You feel a rush. But helping a friend who's having a tough time, or finally understanding a tricky subject in science class, or finishing a project you worked hard on, that feeling is different. It's not super loud or exciting, but it leaves you with lasting warmth and quiet peace. That's true happiness. It's like the difference between eating a bunch of candy, which is sweet for a moment, and a healthy meal that gives you lasting energy. So, true happiness isn't just about what feels good right now. It's about what feels good deep down in your heart and mind and truly lasts. It comes from finding meaning, connecting with others, and living with purpose. It's a quiet strength, a gentle light inside you. It doesn't need loud noises or bright flashes to exist, and that's why it matters. Building that inner quiet joy can guide you through anything life throws your way. Have you ever felt like life is just a race? Like you always need to go faster, finish sooner, or get to the next thing as quickly as possible? But here's the thing. Sometimes the fastest way to get where you truly want to be is to slow down. The wisdom of not rushing is about understanding that some of the best things in life need time. They can't be forced or hurried. It's about patience and letting things unfold naturally, without pushing them before they're ready. Think about ancient philosophers, like the Stoics in ancient Greece and Rome. They believed in living with nature, not against it. They taught that we should accept what we cannot control and focus on what we can. And a big part of what we can control is our own reactions and our pace. Many cultures, like those in the East, also deeply value patience. They see nature as a great teacher. A tiny seed doesn't become a tall tree overnight. A river doesn't rush, but it carved canyons over thousands of years. Great thinkers from thousands of years ago knew this. True progress often happens slowly, with steady effort. Imagine you're trying to learn a new song on the guitar or piano. If you try to play it super fast before you know the notes, it sounds messy, right? You get frustrated and it doesn't sound good. But if you play it slowly, one note at a time, practicing each part carefully, then eventually you can play it perfectly and quickly. It's like that with almost anything important in life. Learning, building strong friendships, or even figuring out a tricky problem. So, not rushing doesn't mean being lazy or doing nothing. It means being thoughtful and intentional. It means giving yourself and the world around you the time needed to grow, to heal, to understand. It means finding peace in the journey itself, not just in reaching the destination. And that can make a really big difference in how you feel and what you achieve. Have you ever seen someone sad or struggling and felt a little bit of their pain yourself? Or maybe you saw someone achieve something amazing and felt happy for them, almost like it happened to you? That feeling, that deep understanding of what another person is going through, is at the heart of compassion. It's not just feeling sorry for someone, it's a real connection where you care enough to want to help or to simply share in their experience. Think about it this way. When you scrape your knee, it hurts. But if you see your friend scrape their knee, you might wince a little too. You know that feeling. Compassion is like that, but for emotions and life struggles. Ancient thinkers, from the Buddha in India to philosophers in ancient Greece, all talked about how important it is to treat others with kindness and understanding. They saw it as a basic part of being human, a way to build a better world, not just for ourselves, but for everyone. It's a really old idea that caring for others makes life better. Here's the thing. When you show compassion, it's not just about the other person. It changes you too. Imagine someone drops all their books in the hallway. If you stop and help them, even for a moment, both of you feel a little lighter, a little more connected. That small act of kindness makes the world feel safer, more friendly. It's like sending out a ripple in a pond. One kind act can inspire another, and soon, a whole group of people feels the positive effect. This can help you feel less alone, and it helps others feel seen and valued. Compassion builds bridges between people. It makes a big difference in our own lives and in the lives around us, showing us we're all linked. Have you ever wondered if there are some rules that are true for everyone, everywhere, no matter what? Like, not just laws created by people, but bigger, deeper truths that seem to hold up across time and different cultures. This idea is what ancient thinkers call universal law. It's a way of thinking that says there's a natural order to the universe, and it's not just random chaos. These laws are like hidden blueprints for how things work, both in the physical world and in how we should treat each other. Think of it this way. A stone always falls down, never up. That's a physical universal law, gravity. It works here on Earth, and it works way out in space. It doesn't need a government to enforce it, it just is. Ancient philosophers, especially groups like the Stoics in ancient Greece, spent a lot of time thinking about this. They believed that if you look closely at nature and the way the world seemed to unfold, you could see patterns, a kind of wise reason guiding everything. For them, universal law wasn't just about gravity. It was also about things like justice, fairness, and compassion. They thought that these moral ideas were built into the fabric of the universe, just as much as gravity was. They believed that if we live in harmony with these universal laws, by being kind, honest, and reasonable, we would find peace and a good life. So imagine the golden rule. Treat others how you want to be treated. Most cultures across thousands of years have something similar. It's not just a nice suggestion. It feels like a fundamental truth, doesn't it? That feeling that some things are just inherently right or wrong is connected to the idea of universal law. It suggests there's a deeper harmony we can tap into, a quiet understanding of what it means to be truly human and how we fit into this vast, beautiful world. And that's a pretty powerful thought to carry with you. Have you ever wondered what it truly means to be fully alive, not just going through the motions? It's a big question, and ancient thinkers spent a lot of time on it. Living fully isn't about having a perfect life or getting everything you want. It's much deeper. To live fully means to be truly present in each moment. It's about experiencing life with all your senses and your whole heart. This could be eating a tasty meal or sharing a quiet moment with a friend. It means letting go of worrying about the past or future and just noticing the now. Ancient Greek philosophers, like Aristotle, talked about eudaimonia. This isn't just happiness. It's closer to human flourishing or living well. For them, living fully meant living with purpose, using your unique strengths and being a good person. It wasn't about endless pleasure. Instead, it was about deep satisfaction from a life well lived, where you grow and help others. The Stoics also believed true contentment came from within, from how you reacted to challenges, not what happened to you. They focused on inner strength and peace. Think about something you love to do, like drawing or playing a sport. When you're totally absorbed and time disappears because you're so focused and enjoying yourself, that's a taste of living fully. You're not thinking about your phone or what's next. You're just being there. So, living fully is a journey of discovery. It means being open to learning, feeling, and growing, even when things are tough. It's about finding meaning in everyday moments, appreciating life's simple gifts, and connecting with yourself and others. That's how we start to feel truly alive. Have you ever wondered how some people seem to get through really tough times and come out even stronger? It's not magic, and it's not that they don't feel sad or scared. There's an old secret, a way of thinking that people have used for thousands of years. It's called resilience. So, what is resilience? Here's the thing. It's your inner ability to bounce back when life pushes you down. It's not about never falling, but about how you stand back up. It's the quiet strength that lets you bend without breaking, no matter what storms you face. This idea isn't new. Ancient philosophers like the Stoics from Greece and Rome understood this deeply. Think about people like Seneca or Marcus Aurelius, who lived through difficult times. They saw how much pain and hardship people faced, but they taught that while you can't always control what happens to you, you absolutely can control how you react to it. They believe true power comes from inside, from your own thoughts and choices. This was their big secret to staying steady even when the world felt upside down. Imagine a tall tree in a powerful windstorm. The wind pushes hard, twisting its branches, shaking its trunk. But the tree doesn't fight against the wind. It bends, it sways. Its roots hold it deep in the earth, and its flexible branches let the wind pass through. When the storm finally calms, the tree stands tall again, maybe even stronger for having weathered the gale. That tree is resilient. It didn't break because it knew how to yield and find its balance again. This ancient wisdom tells us something important. Challenges aren't just things to get through. They are chances to discover how truly strong you are, and that's why it matters. By understanding resilience, you learn to find peace and inner calm, even when life feels a little messy. It's about building a sturdy, peaceful mind no matter what. Have you ever just paused and wondered, is this truly the way things are, or just the way I've been told? This isn't about being disobedient or rude. Instead, it's about something deeper, thinking for yourself. It's about looking at ideas, rules, or beliefs that come from people in charge, like teachers, leaders, or even older traditions, and gently asking why or how do we know this is true? This way of thinking isn't new. For thousands of years, some of the most profound leaps in human understanding came from someone brave enough to question what everyone else simply accepted. Think about ancient Greece. A philosopher named Socrates would walk around Athens, not telling people what to believe, but asking questions that made them think about their own ideas. He challenged people to truly examine what they thought they knew. Centuries later, scientists like Galileo questioned the old belief that the Earth was the center of the universe. Even though it was risky, he observed and showed new evidence, changing how we understand our place in the cosmos. His curiosity changed everything. Here's the thing. Questioning authority helps you build your own understanding of the world, brick by brick. Imagine you're trying to solve a tricky puzzle. You might look at the picture on the box, which is like the authority, but then you also need to try different pieces yourself, testing them, seeing if they fit. Sometimes, you might even find a different, better way to put the puzzle together. This isn't about being defiant, it's about being curious and seeking your own truth. You're not just taking someone else's answer. So, why does this matter for you? Because it helps you grow. It helps you develop your own solid beliefs based on your own thoughts and discoveries, not just on what someone else said. When you gently question, you're not just accepting information, you're truly learning it. And that's how you really come to understand the world, with your own strong mind leading the way. Have you ever really stopped to think about who you are? Not just your name or what you like to do, but deep down what makes you, you. This looking inward is what we call self-discovery. It's like embarking on a journey, but the map isn't of a far-off land. The map is of your own mind, your own heart. It's about finding out your true thoughts, your feelings, your unique talents, and even those parts of yourself that might be a little messy or confusing. For thousands of years, wise people have talked about this journey. In ancient Greece, a famous thinker named Socrates urged everyone to know thyself. This wasn't just a catchy phrase. It was a core belief that understanding yourself is the very first step to living a good life. A life where you make choices that truly fit who you are. These ancient philosophers believed that if you knew your own strengths and weaknesses, you could live more wisely and happily. They understood that external success often depends on internal knowing. Think of it like this. Imagine you're trying to build something complex with Legos without looking at the instructions or knowing what pieces you have. It would be super hard, right? Self-discovery is like figuring out which Lego pieces you have, what shapes and colors they are, and what they can connect to. It's understanding your own personal building blocks. Or it's like a scientist studying a unique plant. They observe it closely, learn its needs, and understand what makes it grow and thrive. You are that unique plant. This path isn't always easy. Sometimes you discover things you didn't expect, good and not so good. But here's the thing. Every step you take on this journey helps you build a stronger foundation for your life. It helps you understand why you react certain ways, what truly makes you happy, and what you stand for. And that's why it matters. It's a quiet, ongoing adventure that leads to a deeper peace and a more honest way of living, right from the inside out. Has life ever felt truly unfair to you? Like a situation just wasn't right, or someone got something they didn't earn, or you missed out on something you completely deserved? That feeling, that's unfairness. Is when things don't line up with what we think is right or just. It's a moment when the world seems off balance, and it can sting deeply. Ancient thinkers, thousands of years ago, spent a lot of time on this. People like the Stoics, old Greek and Roman philosophers, knew that unfair things would always happen. They saw friends betray them, lost loved ones, faced illness, and even political injustice. They understood that you can't stop bad things from happening to you, but they taught that you can choose how you react to them. Here's the thing they understood. The world outside us is often messy. We can't always control what happens, who gets what, or how others behave. But what we can control is our own mind, our own actions, our own feelings about it all. If someone cheats in a game and wins, that's unfair. You can't change their win. But you can choose if you let that anger poison your whole day, or if you learn from it and move on. Think about a time you worked super hard on a team project, maybe even did most of the work, and then everyone got the same grade. It feels wrong, right? You put in the effort, they didn't. That's a clear picture of unfairness. So, how do you deal with it? The ancient wisdom whispers, focus on what is truly yours, your integrity, your effort, your ability to keep trying even when things are not fair. It's not about ignoring the pain of unfairness, but about not letting it take over your spirit. The Stoics understood that true peace comes from within, not from the world always being fair. You choose to act with kindness, to keep learning, to find your own strength, no matter what outside forces try to throw at you. That's a quiet power, a deep control over your own peace. It's a way to stand strong, even when the world around you wobbles. Have you ever noticed how helping someone else just makes you feel better? It's strange. You give your time or a kind word, and somehow you feel fuller, not emptier. This feeling points to an ancient idea, the power of giving back. What does giving back truly mean? It's simple. It's sharing what you have, your kindness, knowledge, or even just a smile with others. You do it without expecting anything in return. It's about making the world a little brighter for someone else. It reminds us that we are all connected, like threads woven into a big, beautiful fabric. For thousands of years, wise people talked about this. Ancient thinkers, like the Stoics, believed a good life meant contributing to your community, not just getting things for yourself. They knew humans thrive when they work and support each other. In many old cultures, helping a neighbor was how society grew strong. It was a core part of being a good person. Here's the thing. When you give, even in small ways, your brain actually gets a boost. Scientists found that acts of kindness can release feel-good chemicals. It's like helping a classmate with a tough math problem. You both feel good. You help them learn, and your own understanding might even deepen. This isn't just a warm feeling. It's a sense of purpose. So, giving back isn't only about big gestures. It's about building something bigger than yourself, one small act at a time. It's about finding real strength, not in taking, but in sharing. It helps you see your place in the world and how even small actions can create big ripples. And that's why it matters. Have you ever stopped and really wondered, who am I, deep down inside? Not the version of you your friends see, or the one your family knows, or even the person who raises their hand in class. But the real, honest to goodness you? This deep, personal question about your true self is something humans have thought about for thousands of years. Think of it like this. You might act differently depending on where you are or who you're with. Maybe you're silly with friends, quiet doing homework, and respectful with grandparents. These are all parts of you, but your true self is like the steady, unchanging core beneath those different roles. It's the part that feels truly authentic, holding your deepest values, your most honest feelings, and what truly matters to you, even when nobody else is watching. Ancient thinkers, like the Greek philosopher Socrates, spoke about know thyself. He believed understanding your core self was a most important goal. And in old Eastern traditions, like Buddhism, they talked about finding an inner peace, a calm center within yourself that was your real being, separate from daily thoughts and emotions. For centuries, people have tried to find this quiet, unchanging part of themselves. Imagine a light bulb. No matter what color lampshade you put on it, red, blue, green, the light inside is still pure white. The lampshades are like your different moods or situations. They change how you appear, but the light itself, the essential you, remains constant. Connecting with this true self means you're not just reacting to what's around you, but acting from a place of genuine inner feeling. So, this journey of finding your true self isn't about becoming someone new. Instead, it's about discovering and connecting with the person you already are, deep down, underneath all the everyday noise and expectations. It's about being completely real and honest with yourself. And when you begin to feel that connection, you often feel more balanced, more peaceful, and just, more authentically you. It's a quiet, powerful feeling that helps you accept and be okay with who you are, no matter what else is happening. Have you ever really stopped to think about what makes us, humans, so incredibly special? We walk on 2 feet, we talk, we build amazing things, but there's something much deeper than that. Being human means we have the unique power to think, to feel, and to wonder. We can imagine things that don't exist yet, like a new invention or a story no one has ever told. We can feel complex emotions, not just happiness or sadness, but also hope, empathy, awe, and even courage when things are tough. For thousands of years, people across the world have looked up at the stars or at each other and asked these same big questions. From ancient Greece to old China, wise thinkers understood that humans were different. We weren't just living day to day like other animals. We could think about our own thoughts. We could ask why and search for answers. This ability to reflect, to learn from the past, and to plan for a better future is a truly powerful human trait. It's what allowed us to develop everything from simple tools to complex societies. Think about something simple, like a musical instrument. A bird might hear a pretty sound, but you can hear a guitar and feel its melody deep inside. You might remember a moment or feel inspired to create something new yourself, or maybe you see a photo of a faraway place. You don't just see shapes. You might feel a longing to travel or a sense of peace. That's our human brain, connecting, dreaming, and making meaning out of the world around us. So, being human gives us this incredible gift, the ability to understand, to create, to truly connect with others, and to keep asking those deep, wondering questions. It means we have the power to learn, to grow, and to shape our own lives and the world around us. It's a wonderful, complex experience, filled with endless possibilities.